got to stand up strong, face the truth about themselves, to understand what went wrong. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way to stand up, stand up, stand up.
Uniting the races with truth instead of dividing them with lies. We're also rebuilding the family by rebuilding the man. I'm Jesse Lee Peterson. Good morning. Hi, y'all. Welcome to the show. Thank you so much for being with me. I do appreciate it. You can get involved by calling 888-7753-773. 888-77-JESSE. Jesse. Jesse. My biblical question for this week, and it's a doozy. My biblical question. What do you value in life? What do you value in life? You ever think about that? What do I value in life? Most of you don't think about it because you're not paying attention to you. You're not self-examining. So you don't wonder, what do I really value in life? But that's the biblical question in hopes to encourage you to examine thyself. Know thyself. It is the number one thing you can do for yourself. It will change your life forever and a day and for the good. We have every way that you can watch the show and support the show listed on JesseLeePeterson.com/show. And if you're out and about, doing whatever it is that you're doing, knocking out white women on the streets because you're angry and nasty, whatever you might be doing, buying fentanyl, going crazy, whatever. You could be listening to the show anywhere in the world, the whole wide world, by calling the listen line on your iPhone or iPad at 641-793-1500, 641-793-1500. And to donate and have your comments read out loud, go to buymeacoffee.com/JLP Talk. Buymeacoffee.com/JLP Talk. Or rebuildingtheman.com. Rebuildingtheman.com. All right? So some of you know that, if you didn't get a chance, check, I was on Busy Day yesterday. Newsmax, 2 different shows. One yesterday morning at 5:45 a.m., just before my show. And then yesterday evening at 5 p.m. Pacific time on a different show on Newsmax. And last night on Tracy Gallagher's show on Fox News. So check it out. Check it out. Some of you know that Thursdays are normal our Bible Thumper Day. It's our Bible Thumper Day. We take all calls, but Thursday, we set aside Thursday, though we take all calls for Bible Thumpers, because Bible Thumpers need love too. They need help. And the reason we set aside Bible Thumper Day is so because when you talk to Bible Thumpers, it's real difficult. They're so intellectual, like the people from the secular world of education. right away, all they do is just quote scripture. So I try to get them to calm down a little bit by giving them a little time and discussing Bible thumper or whatever it is question they have about the Bible or God or whatever, right? So this is Thursday. Believe it or not, it is Thursday. And every Thursday is Bible Thumper Thursday.
All right, brother. Are you ready? He's drunk as a badger. Go ahead. Let that Holy Ghost language come up out of you. Go ahead.
Bible Thumper Thursday. What a mess. What a mess. 888-775-3773. I have said over and over and over for years now, and over and over and over for years, that your mind, your thoughts, your imagination, and emotions are not your friend, that they are pure evil. And anyone, whether it's Jesse Peterson or Jesse Peterson Mama or the Great White Hope or the Great White Hope Mama or the bum on the street, anyone that listens to thoughts, you're living in hell. You're in pure hell. And everyone that is living in imagination, their thoughts, bring every thought into captivity, right? Anyone that believes any thoughts except operated by practical thoughts as far as making breakfast, lunch, and dinner, or what you want to eat, or whatever, right? Where you want to live. Your thoughts are evil, and they're not your own. That's what's so weird about it. Your thoughts are not your own. You don't create thoughts. You're not in charge of thoughts. They're not you, and they're not from God. And yet, 99.99999, all until some start to realize that most people live in their thought. They believe them. You cannot. Most people don't even want you to tell them that you're not your thoughts, that all thoughts are all lies all the time. And they ask, well, who will I be? How will I live if I don't think? What will I be if I don't think? And my answer to that is when you stop thinking is when you will start living. You will have a true life, a real life, a non-participating life. It will be amazing. Simple and easy. And you will be in the world, but not of it. And you can't make yourself be that way. You have to overcome it by overcoming thoughts. And God said, it's in the Word. In the beginning, there was the Word was God. It's in the Word that bring every thought into captivity. But what do the Christians and others do? They live by thoughts. They're not bringing them into captivity. They're giving them life by going along with them, by believing that they are their thoughts. What a sad way to live. You're living in hell. And most people want to stay in their hell. And so they hold on to anger and they say, Jesus was angry. Satan has deceived them to believe that human anger applies to Jesus. And so they're applying the spirit of evil and calling it Jesus. Well, Jesus was like that. No, he wasn't. But you're living in your hell, I understand, so stay in your hell. I am totally okay with it. God is okay with it. Christ is okay with it, stay in your hell and be miserable for the rest of your life, and drop your body in your hell and you're stuck. You might not have a way out once that happens. I don't know, but I wouldn't take the risk. Anyone that has anger, and the Christians promote anger. Jesus was angry. Anyone that has anger is a murderer. Anyone, no matter who it is, you are a murderer. You are as bad as a person that would kill his own family, a person that would rape. You are no different if you have anger. That is your soul, your spirit is wicked. Never trust an angry person. So the preacher or whomever, or the expert, the psychologist, psychiatrist, or whomever, doctor's lawyer, if they telling you that anger is good, they'll hate you. They are deceiving you. They don't want you to be free. And I understand most people don't want freedom. They love their hell, and they love to roam the earth to see who else they should draw into their hell. So they attack like wild animals. They attack. And if you're into your hell, you will overreact, and be afraid of the attacker. What a mess! Or you can doubt every thought and be free. You can stop identifying every thought and be free. And I want to give you an example, according to these reports, of what thoughts can do to you. All thoughts are thrills, and all thrills are evil. Good thrills and bad thrills are evil. And angry people love thrills. And they attack like wild dogs. And they join a group so they all can validate each other in their attack. But they're just wild animals. They're wild dogs attacking. For the thrill of it, they get a thrill. The human heart is evil. Anger is evil. And anyone that has anger has fear. And fear is not of God. What a mess! I want to give you an example of what anger can do to you. I want to give you the case of Michael Miller. The case of Michael Miller. This is from Fox. According to the Fox report, a man was arrested for allegedly killing his wife and daughter and wounding his son in a suspected domestic violence incident in their home. Watch this from Explore with Us.
Are you sure that you did this and you're not dreaming?
I hope to God this is a dream. I hope I am just freaking out. I hope to God it is, but it's not. It's real.
He tells first responders he's been possessed, ominously warning that something serious is happening to his soul. Once he's alone, Michael begins speaking to himself.
I'm telling the truth, Father. Father God, I'm telling the truth. I don't care what happens. I don't care if I go to jail for 1,000 years. I'm telling the truth. Jesus, set me free. Set me free, Jesus. Father God, it's up to you. Whether I get out of here or not. Father God, I love you. In Jesus' name I pray.
That is every human being on this side of heaven until they return to the Father. Your problems, and I'm not medically diagnosing you at all, but your problem is spiritual. My problem is spiritual until we start to overcome it. Every human being is two hoops and a holler. If this story is true about Michael Miller, every human being is two hoops and a holler for becoming Michael Miller. Just two hoops and a holler. One incident, one thought can change you just like that. Because you're possessed. Michael Miller, if this is true, is 100% correct. He's possessed with evil spirits. and your mind
Are you sure that
and
you
your
did this and you're not
emotions,
dreaming?
your mind and your emotions are possessed with evil spirit. You can doubt me. Just doubt me. Don't believe me. But examine yourself. Think about the things you think about. Think about the feelings you get. If you were truly your mind and your feeling, would you make yourself think that way? Will you make yourself feel that way? Will you make yourself do the things you don't want to do? Think about it. Focus on yourself. That's deep with Michael Miller. That's every human being. Not sure if it's him or not. According to Phoenix New Times, court documents state 29-year-old Michael Miller was bipolar and schizophrenic and believed both the devil and God made him do it. Watch this from Explore with us again.
Religious preoccupation in schizophrenia tends to occur more in cultures with more religious occurrence in the general population. It's important to remember that spiritualism and religious preoccupation is common among mentally healthy people, and that mental illness tends to just skew the normal behaviors to the extreme, which may be why this kind of preoccupation is often seen in schizophrenia, especially considering if someone was raised in a religious community. They may have been raised with an understanding that someone speaking out of thin air or an auditory hallucination could be God talking. So then when it starts to happen, it follows that they would automatically assume that's what the voice is.
But it wasn't me.
Really?
It wasn't me.
Who was it?
It was me.
You said it was you.
Yes.
Okay.
The devil had me. It wasn't me.
Right.
It wasn't me. It was me, but it wasn't my insides that could do that. It wasn't my insides that could kill my family.
Right.
That's right. And the person that was reading there, he's lying in that, or maybe just doesn't know. This happened more in the non-Christian world than the Christian world. It's just that in the Christian world, some Christians are aware that they're possessed by evil spirits. In the secular world, with all the fighting and robbing and killing and deceiving and all that's going on, that's what's driving them. They're just not aware of it. They have convinced, the spirits have convinced the secular world that it's them. They have convinced themselves that it's them, but it's happening in this. Look around. Look at our government. Look at look at the schools. Look at the family. Look at the secular educational world. It's the same thing. They hate one another. They are on an ego drive to get all these degrees, to get a false sense of a thrill, to make themselves feel good. It's happening in everyone. It's just that some Christians are working on themselves so they're a little more aware that it's not them. But it's happening in every human being. Every human being is possessed. And the secular world give it wrong names to cover up evil. They call it something else, but it's still evil. And then they give each other medication, those antidepressant stuff, and they deaden your consciousness so that you will not be aware of what's going on inside of you, and it just get worse. Because awareness is the only thing that can change dark spirits. It's the only thing that can cause them to leave you. It's consciousness, the light, the mind of God, being present. Believe what you want. It's up to you. Again, I'm just telling you. I'm bringing you the message. You are possessed. You're not your thoughts. And yes, evil thoughts can make you do what Michael has been accused of doing. All in the name of Jesus. Good Fight is reported that Michael told police that he had tucked his son into bed the night before, and they said a prayer together, asking God to keep them safe. This is from Explore with Us.
Michael recalls a recent religious awakening that spurred his new prayer habit.
I said a prayer with my son. I rubbed his back and I said a prayer, tucked him in, and he fell asleep.
What kind of prayer? Is it like a
To
standard
Jesus. No, we don't usually pray. We don't usually pray. We just 2 weeks ago I feel like I've been baptized with the Holy Spirit, with fire. I feel like I'm on fire for the Lord.
Oh, good.
So I'm trying to pray with him and teach him. Well, I'm not trying. I am praying with him, and I'm doing things that the Lord wants us to do.
What did you guys pray about?
I pray that the Lord would keep him safe. We thank him for the house. We thank him for the car. We thank them for the food. We thank them for mommy and daddy.
The unfortunate thing is those prayers were to Satan and not God. And Michael, apparently, if this is true, just didn't know it. He just didn't know it. If you really, really, really be honest with yourself, and really be honest with yourself, you'll see that nasty, evil spirit is in you. It's in everybody. And everyone that is possessed with spirits like that, and all are until they overcome, you're about you. You're about nobody else but you. You don't care about anyone else but you. And if the world doesn't go your way, you destroy it, meaning the people of the world. Michael goes on to talk about, according to Good Fight, Miller told detective that he visualized his wife as a demon. This is from Explore with Us.
After the attack, neighbor after neighbor came forward as witnesses to Michael and Adriana's fighting. One neighbor told police the couple's yelling reverberates throughout the neighborhood.
My wife got mad at me, really mad at me for yelling, or she got mad at me for not sleeping. I go, babe, you can't get mad at me for not sleeping. It's not my fault. And she, well, no. She goes off, no. And I say, well, what the f is your problem? And then I started meditating in my brain, and I started thinking, okay, well, God the Father, Jesus the Son, who's the Spirit? I thought it was Satan. I thought it was God the Father. I thought he was married to Lucifer, and they had a son named Jesus.
Okay.
That's what I thought. And then I was indwelt by Satan, and I killed him.
Well, wait, let's talk about that. You said you're enveloped with Satan? What was the word?
Indwelt.
Okay. What does that mean?
Consumed.
Amazing. If only someone could have gotten to Michael before, if all this stuff happened, before it happened. Michael, you got to drop anger. You got to forgive. And God will forgive you and take those demons out of your mind and give you a clear mind. I want you to encourage you to think about how you've treated yourself and others. How family members have turned on one another. It's not you. It's the same spirit that Michael is talking about here. They're the same spirit. In my counseling sessions, and I counsel with men and women, families, individuals around the world, I have heard stories of what the demons are doing to individuals and families that I didn't even know was possible. I didn't know it was possible. But I understand how the demons work, and yes, it's possible. What you don't know, Satan and all his little demon that dwells in your imagination literally hate you and me and anyone that they possess or even that they don't possess, but those who have overcome. But they hate you to the core. There's no love in it, no mercy. And those spirits hate you to the core. And yet you have people telling you that hate or anger, which is hatred, is good. You've been deceived. The demons that causes husband and wife to fight in the way they do is mind-blowing. And the things that, because the men don't understand in most cases what's happening through the wife, the stories that I've heard that the wives have done to the husband and the children, you have to know that they're possessed. It's not them. Ain't no way that if they were not possessed, ain't no way they would do such evil, nasty, dirty, wicked things to their own family. They can't help it. That's why they must drop the anger and return to the Father. It's in the thoughts. All thoughts are all lies all the time about anything. And when you go and forgive your mothers, because the hell comes through the mother. Evil, be not to see, come through the mother. All mothers until they overcome. The gates of hell come through the woman. And it affects every boy and girl. Because the father is not aware enough to protect, to stand between the mother and his children, to protect them from the hell that's coming to her. Because they haven't overcome the hell that they were passed on to their mothers, from their mothers, so they're married to mama, or they made babies with mama, the same spirit. Different woman, but same spirit. Here is where he's talking about his struggle with alcohol. Watch this from Explore with us.
I had a problem with alcohol.
Oh, okay.
And I got to the point where I wanted to drink alcohol every single day, all day. I'd get home from work, and first thing I would do was pick up a beer. And I'd have 12, 13 of them, and that's not right. And I was like, okay, I got to stop. And then I tried to quit on my own power, and I kept trying, God, I'll do this better, I'll do that better. And it didn't work. And then I did this. I did this. I tried to kill myself. I was serious about it. This wasn't no joke. I did that really hard. I wanted to get out of there. I wanted out of life.
While Michael's story about the attempt is certainly serious and worthy of concern, he may be sharing the story now as another way to try to victimize himself.
No, you're not.
By conveying his own suffering, he may feel that he'll win lenience later down the line.
That's not it. What a blind reader. That's not it at all. He's telling you the truth about what happens in all human beings. It's a spiritual issue. And the alcohol is not the problem. Stop calling yourself an alcoholic. The alcohol is an attempt to find peace. And you drink a little bit, you feel good, right? A thrill. Then you drink more, you feel good again. And you keep drinking. After a while, the feeling good, drinking alcohol doesn't make you feel good, but you keep drinking more and more and more trying to feel good. Same thing with drugs or anything, sex or anything. I've told you over and over again, it ain't about racism. No such thing as racism, sexism, homophobism, Islamophobism, Debbie Dadism, white supremacism, Allahu Abbaism, or anti-Semitism. It's spiritual. And it's in the mind. The things I want to do, I can't. The things I don't want to do, I do. I have to assume it's not me, but something has made a home in me. I'll be back in a moment. 888-7753-773. 888-77-JESSE. One line open. I'll take your calls. All that when I come back. Back in a moment. I have books that are amazing. I highly recommend you get them. 7 Guaranteed Steps to Spiritual, Family, and Financial Success Guide. Even if you're not started a business, but you have a job, or you're on welfare. It can help you if you do. Be doers of the word, all right? From rage to responsibility. From rage. That's what I write about in the first chapter, especially how I overcame. Scam. How the black leadership exploits black Americans. They're using them, and blacks are too willing to be used. And then my last book, The Antidote, Healing America from the Poison of Hate, Blame, and Victimhood. They are all amazing books, and they are helpful. Go to rebuildingtheman.com if you want an autographed copy, or call 800-411-2663. I've been saying, welcome back, 888-77-JESSE. Go and support us, please, at rebuildingtheman.com, or call 800-411-BOND, 800-411-2663. I do appreciate it. We are busy around here. Counseling, also the men's forum, the first Thursday night of the month, the third Thursday night of the month, ladies only, Sunday morning fellowships. We're building a network, 24-hour talk network for men, with men only, 24 hours. We're about to add some more guys. 24-hour talk network here. And we have an entrepreneur academy where we are teaching guys how to start a business or run a business. And some of the guys don't have the finance because their mama messed up the credit when they were babies by using their credit, pretending they were adults, and now they can't use it. So we have a credit union we started when we loan them the money and they pay back. They keep it going on a lot. So thank you for your support, all right? We're non-profit, so you get your tax deducted stuff back. Go to rebuildingtheman.com, rebuildingtheman.com, or call 800-411-BOND, 800-411-2663. It is Bible Thumper Day, and I want you to know you're possessed. And that guy that was reading about Michael, what they allegedly Michael has done with killing his family and all that, and Michael is laying out clearly that something else was driving him. Something else. And Michael thought he was even talking to God. And that's what Satan do. That's what Satan does to the Christians. He made the Christians think that when they're praying to God. And then the Christian wonder, why is my prayer not working? Why I still have fear? Why is my family still messed up? What's wrong? Oh, I know. Satan tells him, well, you have to wait until you get to heaven. You're not perfect. It's not going to happen here. He lies to them. When God said, be still and know me, Satan said, pray out to me. And you think it's the voice of God. And I want, you can test this too and prove me wrong. You can't stop yourself. Just smoke on this. If you were in charge of your own thoughts, if you were the creator of all thought, why don't you stop yourself from thinking evil, stupid stuff? Why don't you stop yourself from thinking about revenge or fear or loneliness or suicidal thoughts? Why don't you? And before I go to the calls, I've said over and over and over and over again, and even some of the ladies are starting to realize, you know, you're right, Jesse. Evil is coming through me, through the women. They're starting to see it, and when they see it, they become free of it. It's not them, but it's the spirit that made a home in them that was passed down since the day of Eve. Thank God he sent his son, and you can be free from it if you realize that it's not you. If you realize it's not you. It looked like I may have a little bit more proof in a scientific way that evil works through the woman. Uh-huh. One monkey don't stop no show. I think I have scientific proof that my brilliant producer Sean found to help you to see. And the reason I want to encourage you to see it so you can overcome it, men and women. That evil comes through the mother. And here's more proof of that. It's not that I need it because I can see that it comes through the mother, but some of the blind people can't see it. They don't want to believe it. And you hear, especially with guys, and some ladies, I don't hate my mom. I love my mama. My mama was good. No such thing. The one thing you can bank on, there's no such thing as a good mama. It doesn't, it's non-existence. No such thing as a good mama. A mother, in case of white people. Mother, in case of the black, mama. So here's more proof that evil comes through the woman. NPR, neuroscientist Jim Fallon uses brain scans and genetic analysis to uncover the wiring in the nature and nurture of murderers. This is from NPR. Don't blame me. I'm just reporting what they're reporting. Neuroscientist Jim Fallon uses brain scans and genetic analysis to uncover the wiring in the nature and nurture of mothers. Just smoke on that for a minute. How many people do you hear honestly love you enough to tell you that the evil comes through the woman? And Satan is so deceiving, he has used the woman and the media and the preachers to make you think that it comes through the man. Now, once it comes through the mother into the male, the man can become violent because that is his abnormal nature. And he doesn't know how to handle it. But women are way more violent than men. Way more. They just don't report it because they're covered up evil. So you smoked on the fact that neuroscientist Jim Fallon, according to NPR, uses brain scans and genetic analysis to uncover the wiring in the nature and nurture of murderers? This is from Steady CU.
One of my colleagues asked me to analyze a bunch of brains.
When Fallon looked at the brain of psychopath killers, the damage was right above the eyes, right up here where I tell you to observe and watch those thoughts coming and going. Be separated from them. That's what Satan operates. According to Study CU, when Fallon looked at the brains of psychopath killers, the damage was right above the eyes in the interior part of the temporal lobe. The gene that seemed to be related to a higher propensity to violence can only be given from the mother. According to this guy, Fallon, and according to the Study CU, the genes that seem to be related to higher propensity to violence can only be given from the mother. Watch this from Ted.
One of my colleagues asked me to analyze a bunch of brains of psychopathic killers. And the question is, how do you end up with a psychopathic killer? So we look at these sorts of things theoretically on the basis of genetics and brain damage and the interaction with environment and exactly how that machine works. So we're interested in exactly where in the brain and what's the most important part of the brain. And how you end up with a psychopath and a killer depends on exactly when the damage occurs. It's really a very precisely timed thing. You get different kinds of psychopaths. And the pattern is that those people, every one of them I looked at who was a murderer, had damage to their orbital cortex, which is right above the eyes, the orbits. So there's this pattern that every one of them had. The key thing is that the major violence genes is called the MAOA gene. And it's sex-linked. It's on the X chromosome. And so in this way, you can only get it from your mother. And in fact, this is probably why mostly men, boys, are psychopathic killers, are very aggressive. But for a son, you could only get the X chromosome from his mother. So this is how it's passed from mother to son.
Wow. Now do you believe it? It's scientific. If this report is right from this guy, because he's telling the truth about that. It comes from the mother. And anyone that thinks your mother was sweet, I had a good mother, you're deceived. All who are born through the woman must be born of the Father. Ain't no way out. And when you sit quietly, be still and know the Father, once you go and forgive your mother, she couldn't help it. It's not her, it's the Spirit that made a home in her. When you go and forgive her, God will. If you're sincere that I'm wrong for resenting her, you can see that you have this anger and you're wrong for hating her, just like you can help yourself, she can help herself. And I'm wrong for being angry at her and go and forgive. The light comes on. And the rest is history. You got to be aware of those thoughts. They're not your own. Because if you're not aware of them, you're one with them whether you know it or not. Whether you accept it or not. Whether you believe it or not. And it begins with Eve. And these women are given the fathers of these children and the children pure hell. That's all they have to give is hell. They have no love. And yet Satan has done an amazing job of convincing human beings that mothers and wives or wives and mothers have love, and they don't. Look how they constantly reminding you that a mother's love is so special. They don't want you to remember that it's not. But when you forgive, then the love is going to come from above, and it'll be right. It'll be good. It won't be your love or my love or anyone's love, but the love of the Father from above and within. Now, that is some deep information. You can either use it to examine yourself, or you can poo-poo it away. Oh, it ain't true. Let the devil convince you and continue to live in your hell. Or you can be free of it. You can have perfect peace while you live right here, right now. And if you really understood, you can have perfect peace right now and for eternity. But it's totally up to you. 888-7753-773. Let me go to Casey, a first-time caller out of Texas. Casey, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Hi, Jesse Lee. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Thanks for calling.
Yes. I called because you started talking about Bible thumpers, and I would have never called the show. But I started watching you about a month ago, and my husband and we were watching it, and I knew that you were right about a lot of this stuff. And I had drank for about 30 years of my life, and I quit drinking about 2 years ago, not because of a revelation from God or anything like that, but when I was drinking, I was convinced that I was an atheist, and I read the gospel.
You say you were convinced that you were what?
An atheist.
Oh, okay.
My mother
Okay.
drank, and she said to me one time, well, she was an atheist, and she told me that she didn't believe in God, and then I, met a friend and in rehab of all places, and he said, "You're not a Christian, you don't believe in that." And he started giving me books about by Sam Harris and Christopher Hitchens, and I read the Gospels, and I really haven't read the Bible much. I tried to read it once, and I got about, I don't know how many chapters through Genesis, and then I thought, well, I'm going to read the shortest chapter, and I think it was Ruth, and I thought, well, this is kind of weird. And then there were a few times that I had read Revelations when I was high, and that was really bad. But so I read the Gospels, and I was one of those deniers, and I saw Jesus was angry, and I thought, well, this isn't what they sold Jesus as this peace-loving, whatever. And so I used that, and then so I've been watching you for about a month, and then I went to a church a couple weeks ago, and I got a Bible because I had thrown my Bibles away years ago, and day before yesterday, I sat on my back porch and I said, God, and I was thinking about all these different religions and all these fights that are going on with Muslims and Jews, and I said, God, believe this or not, but I said, God, tell me, every religion thinks they're right. Tell me if Christianity is right. And I opened the book, and I'm not sure if this is right because I'm not really good with the Bible, but I opened the book, and I think it was Ezekiel 24:15, I think.
Okay.
When I asked about the Muslims, and it said something about the Philistines. And I was like, okay, this is how you feel about that. And I said, well, what about the Jews? Close the Bible, open it back up, and this could be wrong too, but I think it was Jeremiah 15, and it talked about the Jews. And then I got real sad, but then I thought, this is right. This is right. Christianity's right. So I closed the Bible again, and I said, God, tell me where to open it up again. And I opened it up again, and I promised you, Jesse Lee, it was John 5:25, I think. It talked about salvation. And I thought, okay, I'm on the right path. And I knew what you were talking about with race and stuff like that, because when I was drinking, I had gotten all these DWIs, and I went to prison for a couple of years. And so I was with all kinds of races, and I met people that were all, they were either good or bad, and it didn't matter what race they were. And I talked to all kinds of people, and it didn't matter. And so I knew it wasn't, it's not white supremacy. It's none of that. It's none of that. It's just good.
Right.
It's just good or bad.
Yeah.
It's just good or bad.
Absolutely. Amazing. You don't sound like a prisoner.
I don't look like one either. I'm about 5'1". I'm tiny.
You sound like a nice little sweet Southern white woman.
I'm about 20. I'm 20% Cherokee, but I look very, very white.
I can imagine walking down the road past your house and smell apple pie coming through the kitchen window.
People would never, if you looked at me, you would never think that I ever went to prison. No one would ever believe it.
Amazing. And so, did you have a question for me?
I just wanted to tell you I love you and thank you.
Thank you. Have you forgiven your mother?
I have. She had her own demons,
Yeah.
And my dad left when I was 15 months old.
Wow.
And she ended up marrying some alcoholics, and they beat her, and we had a real tough time growing up, and she had a tough time, and I know that she's in heaven now, because when I went to prison, the first day I was there, something overtook me. I don't know what it was, and I was so angry about this later, and I'll tell you what. But for some reason, I was going. They have this thing called diagnostics, and you go see a doctor, and this doctor looked at me, and she said, "You look like an angel." And I said, "What a weird thing to say to me." And I was walking from that office to another thing, wherever they were taking me to, and about 6 different officers came to me and tackled me and gave me a shot, and I got put in solitary, like a dungeon type thing, and it was freezing cold. I know this sounds really weird, but it's true. It's in the Texas prison system, and I was driven to this unit and put in this really cold cell for 10 days and drugged naked with a suicide blanket. I have no idea why. Still to this day, don't know why. And about 10 days later, they stopped drugging me. They took me upstairs, gave me a blanket, and I was in there in this room by myself for 56 days, and I didn't have glasses. I didn't have contacts, and I'm blind. And through some sort of acrobatics during that time, somebody got me a book, but I couldn't read it. And I prayed, and I said, "God, please be with me." And I was able to read about 25 pages of this book, and it was by, I've never heard of this man, Tony Hillerman. I think he's a Navajo. But anyway.
He a Navajo?
No, this book, the author of the book was Navajo. I'm Cherokee.
Oh.
But anyway.
How do you know he wasn't a Idaho?
It said on the book. But I could read it. The thing was, it was dark, and I could read it.
Yeah.
And I can't see. I can't see without glasses.
Right.
But I wasn't able to see for very long. It was just for like 20 pages, and then after that, I couldn't see anymore. But then I forgot all about that, or I just denied it for about 10 years, and then I remembered it again. And my husband, he's been with me for 26 years, but we just got married a year ago. But
can he handle you?
I put that man through hell. I was so wicked to him. He kicked me out. He said I couldn't drink around him. He graduated from Catholic school. He's a saint. He's a good man. And I aborted his baby when we were 25. I'm 51 now. We don't have kids.
How many did you abort it?
I don't even know.
You aborted a lot of babies?
Well, the first time I was 14, and my stepmom took me to get one. And then, and then when I was 25, I got pregnant, and I told him that I was going to have an abortion. And he said, "You don't have to do this." And I remember I was offended. I thought, well, here I am, making it, and he was trying to tell me that, you don't have to do this. Well, in my mind, I didn't think anybody would want to have a child with me. I didn't want to bring a child into the world and treat a child like that. I didn't want to do that to anybody.
I understand.
I didn't want to put anybody through any kind of pain like that I had been through. I would have been a horrible mother. And somebody told me, "Oh, you don't know, that would have changed you." And I said, "Would it?" Because I met a lot of mothers in prison, a lot.
Yeah.
98% of them were women.
Casey, can you hold for me? I have a few questions
Yes,
for
sir.
you. All right, hold on.
Yes, sir.
888-7753-773. Bible Thumping Thursday. Hake is coming in with the hate news, not the fake news, the hate news. I have 2 more hours to go. Back in a moment. I recommend you get a copy of my book, From Rage to Responsibility. I write about how the spirit of anger was taken away from me 29 years ago. I forgave my mother who tried to turn me away from my father, and I returned to my father, and through him, my father on earth, and through him I was able to return to God. No man or woman can return to God unless you go through the Son. And men are sons of God. There may be weak, pathetic examples of it, but it's the spiritual order of life. God in Christ, Christ in man, man over woman, and woman over children. So get From Rage to Responsibility. I write about that. Go to my website, rebuildingtheman.com, for an autographed copy, or call 800-411-BOND. And donate to my nonprofit, Bond, the Brotherhood Organization of a New Destiny. We are rebuilding the family by rebuilding the man.
Rest in peace, Joe Lieberman. Gone too soon. New York City gal's getting punched in the face, allegedly, and they want to jail that soccer team president of Spain, or whatever he was, for kissing that woman. 2.5 years. It's ridiculous. This is the end of hour 1 of the Jesse Lee Peterson Show. It is Bible Thumper Thursday, March 28th, AD 2024. JLP will be right back to your calls. Hang tight, callers. Be patient. There is one line open, by the way. You can call in right now to get on hold, to get on air with JLP, and he will get to you. But first, Hake news, not fake news. Rest in peace, Joe Lieberman. You guys remember him? Commie Nonsense Network. CNN reports former Senator Joe Lieberman, the first Jewish vice presidential nominee of a major party, died Wednesday in New York due to complications from a fall. He was the tender age of 82. The Democrat turned independent, so-called, was chosen by presidential nominee Al Gore, who invented the internet and now is pushing the inconvenient truth of the climate change, in the year 2000 as his running mate. The disputed election was eventually decided by the so-called Supreme Court rightly in favor of then Texas Governor George W. Bush. Phew, that was a close one. Don't punch women in the face unjustifiably. The far-left female-run outlet The Skim report that women in NYC are sharing stories about getting punched in the face. In recent weeks, TikTok has been flooded with videos of women claiming that they were randomly attacked in broad daylight while walking in NYC. I'm suspecting that some of them may have been fake stories, at least some of them. The videos have racked up over 10 million views. Many of the women said they were looking at their phones when a man punched them in the head. Don't be looking at your phones in public. That's when they get you. They steal your stuff. They do that to men, too. It's ridiculous. You have to be aware. New York police are investigating and said that they arrested a they didn't mention black, male suspect yesterday, 40-year-old guy. Unclear if he's connected to any of the other incidents. That was fringe political candidate who ran for NYC mayor accused of sucker punching a TikToker woman. He ran for the Freedom Party. At least one attacker, though, is still at large, according to New York Post yesterday. On Wednesday, 40-year-old Brooklyn man, Skiboki Stora, calls himself Marcus Garvey's great-great-grandson. He calls himself that on IG. He was arrested and charged with assault. Allegedly, he punched an influencer, Haley, Halley, Kate McGuckin, in the face when she was walking along West 16th Street and 7th Avenue on Monday. But at least one perpetrator and possibly more are still on the loose, they say. Anyway, back to the story. The NYPD has not indicated whether these attacks are part of an increase in violent crime against women in the city. Still, women are now adding walking in broad daylight. That incident happened at like 10:20 in the morning to the laundry list of things they have to worry about. You don't have to worry your pretty little heads, ladies. Just be aware. It's not just NYC-based women concerned about their safety. Women across the United States have shared their stories on social media expressing how they feel about that they need to stay hypervigilant at all times and how it's exhausting. I mean, don't stop voting Democrat, ladies. You're ushering in more crime. They're also swapping safety tips, which really shouldn't be a thing, say the ladies at the Skim. Be quiet. Women who travel solo have gone viral for their tips on staying safe at a hotel. Others say they put men's work boots on their door to deter invaders. Even exercise requires being on high alert. A survey from Adidas found 92% of women feel some concern for their safety while jogging on a run. And that's rightly so. You got to watch out, ladies. So what a mess. Prosecutors are seeking a 2.5-year jail term for Spanish soccer boss Rubiales over the supposedly unwanted Women's World Cup kiss. Remember that? Supposedly disgraced, CNN calls it. Soccer chief Luis Rubiales may face jail time for his supposedly unwanted kiss of star forward Jennifer Hermoso in Spain's World Cup victory. I'm James Hake.
got to stand up strong. Ain't the truth about themselves to understand what went wrong. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way to stand up, stand up, stand up.
Uniting the races with truth instead of dividing them with lies. We're also rebuilding the family by rebuilding the man. I'm Jesse Lee Peterson. Welcome to the second hour of the show today. You can get involved by calling 888-7753. 773-888-77-JESSE. Jesse. Jesse. My biblical question for this week is a doozy. What do you value in life? What do you value in life? And this is to encourage you to look at yourself, know thyself, take your eyes off everybody else, and keep them on you, and you will understand the world. You will understand every other human being on this side of heaven. All right? Some of you are busy, and you're out and about, and you can't watch the show. I know your podcast, but you could be listening no matter where you are or anywhere around the world. If you're, no matter where, we are heard around the world by everybody and their mama. And if you're black, everybody and their mama. And if you're a flat earther, we are heard up and down the earth by everybody and their mama. And if you're black, everybody and their mama. What a mess! And so you can be listening to the show. You can podcast by calling the listen line while you're doing whatever you're doing at 641-793-1500. That's 641-793-1500. And we're going to get to your super chats here in a minute. And to donate and have your super chats read out loud, go to Buy Me a Coffee. BuyMeACoffee.com/JLP Talk. BuyMeACoffee.com/JLP Talk or RebuildingTheMan.com. RebuildingTheMan.com. And thank you for your support. It's Thursday. It's the second hour of the show today. And every Thursday is Bible Bumper Thursday.
Oh my God! Oh my God!
Hey!
Turn around and look at these people. What?
From the Lord. I got what I wanted from the Lord. I'll go back to Washington. Oh, yes, I will. I'm a Southern Baptist. They don't believe in tongues, but God said it. I want it.
I didn't know why people carrying on like that in church. I thought it was a black thing. Bible thumper. What the? Amazing. I want to go back to Casey, first time call out of Texas. Casey, according to Casey, been through hell and back. Hell and back. Casey, how are you doing today?
I'm okay. I'm a little worried about what's going on in the world and with that bridge and how significant that is. And I want everyone to know how significant that is and that we're in a war. That we're in a war for our lives and for this country. And I think we should drop everything and find our peace with God.
And why are you worried about the war, the bridge and the war? Why are you worried about? What good is it doing you?
I'm worried about the children in this country that are innocent. And
why?
And the people. And,
why?
Well, I don't have kids, but I care about kids, and I care about.
Why are you worried about the kids and the war and the bridge and all that? Why?
Because I want people to stand up and fight for what's right. And
why?
I think because this country's lost God.
No, God is still here.
I know, but a lot of people have strayed, and like myself. And
But what good is it doing you to worry about the children and the bridge and the war? What good is it doing? Is that changing the world at all for you to sit home and worry about it?
well, I'm not just sitting home worried about it. I mean,
I mean, when I say sit home, go to work, whatever you do, what good is it doing you or the world for you to worry about it?
I don't know. None, I suppose.
And so why do it?
I feel like it's motivating me to do something. Like
What's
went out and got rice and beans, and went out and we're just preparing. We're getting everything ready because we're afraid that other people aren't going to be, and they're going to be in need. And so we're just trying to get prepared and get ready for what's coming.
But what is coming?
I think this is it. I think this is it. We're in a fight for our souls.
Where are you getting those thoughts from?
I believe that God's telling me this.
No, God's not telling you that. You think God wants you to worry?
No. I think God wants me to prepare.
Prepare for what?
For what's coming.
What's coming?
I think we're going to have some harsh times ahead.
And where are you getting those thoughts from?
Just looking at what's going on.
Casey, I want to encourage you to work on yourself. Anyone that worries is evil.
Oh.
Satan is your God, and that's why you worry, because you don't believe in God. You believe
I
about
believe.
it. Then why are you worried then?
I don't know. It's not like I don't trust this. I know what's going to happen. I know the outcome.
Casey.
But I feel like it's putting the fire under my feet to do something about it.
You can't do anything about it. Ain't nothing you can do about the bridge falling. There's nothing
No. I mean, we got, that's
Casey,
as far as I'm going to go with that.
Casey, let me ask.
Mm-hmm.
You think God wants you to worry about the bridge falling?
No, I don't think he wants me to worry about it. I think he absolutely does not want me to worry about it.
You think God wants you to worry about wars?
No.
Do you think God wants you to worry about the children?
No.
Then why are you worried then?
You're right.
No, that was a question.
I don't know.
I know why you're worrying.
Why?
You're living in your imagination, you're getting the thrills, and it makes you feel like you're right. It makes you feel like you have love, it makes you feel like you care, and it makes you feel like you got to take some type of action, which is all evil. You're listening to the devil.
Oh, I've just been crying and crying and crying for days.
Because you love your misery.
No, I don't. I want out of it. I've asked him to please help me to stop suffering.
Do you want to stop suffering?
Yes.
Doubt every thought. You're unconscious, and in your unconscious state, you're living in the past or the future, and you're worshiping the devil, and you're not with God. God is in the present. He's always right where Casey is at all time, but your mind is with the past or future. God is not into that. He's not into time. You got to stay present. Have you forgiven your father for not protecting you from your mother?
That's hard.
Have you forgiven your father for not protecting you from your mother?
No.
Why not?
I want to. He was just not a very nice person. He was actually pretty evil, I think.
Are you a nice person?
Most of I think so.
What's nice about you? Here you are worried and scared and feel. What's nice about that?
There's nothing nice about that.
So why do you think you're a nice person?
I don't know. I don't know. Maybe, I don't know.
You're not a nice person. And what gives you the right not to forgive your father? What's so holy about you and righteous about you that God forgive your father? Why can't you forgive him?
I just really just try not to think about him. I feel like he left me. He abandoned me. You know.
Have you asked him about?
I came along. No, he doesn't want to talk to me.
Have you tried to talk to him?
I've written him letters and tried to talk to him. He doesn't want to talk to me. I tried to friend him on social media, and he ignored me. And he's 80-something.
Did you treat him the way your mother was treating him?
No. Well, I don't. He left when I was 15 months old. When I was born, I had pneumonia about 5 months later, and then I had 2 sisters that were older. And he said we were an anchor around his neck, and he left. And I didn't see him for 10 years, and I guess the police had called him and told him that he needed to come pick up his daughters. I lived with him for a couple of years. He told me he didn't want me. He told me I looked too much like my mother for him to ever love me. And so when I was 15, I left, and I tried to get in touch with him, and he has never been in touch with me since. So.
Forgive him. He couldn't help himself. Forgive him. He didn't know how to deal with your mother. He didn't know how to deal with you. He didn't know how to deal with his mother. Forgive him so that you can be free. Okay. You can read the Bibles until the cows come home. You can go over there and fish the bridge back. You can go over there and stop the war, but you will never have peace until you forgive your father. You will never know God until you forgive your earthly father. How can you enter into the kingdom of heaven within or above when you have hatred in your heart? Anyone that has anger is of their father, the devil, and you're not going to enter into the kingdom of heaven within or without. Your father could not help himself. Had he been able to do better, he would have. He has no love. He's just like you. Exactly what you're thinking and feeling and the hell that's driving you, it's the same spirit that's driving him. And the same spirit, if this report is true about this man that kills his family, did you hear the opening of the show, what I was talking about?
Yes, I did. I listened to the whole thing. Mm-hmm.
That's the same spirit in you and your father and everyone until they overcome it. It's no different. It's the same spirit as in Paul of the Bible when he said that I had to realize it's not me. It's something that has made a home in me. It made a home in your father and was passed down from his mother. And I want to promise you, there is never, ever, never, ever, ever, ever a reason to be angry. No matter what happens, what situation come your way, there's never a reason to be angry. If you want to be free, Casey, you got to forgive.
Okay.
It ain't going to work no other way.
Okay.
You got to forgive your father. And when you forgive your earthly father, then through your earthly father, you will return to God. Right here on earth, and you will have perfect peace.
Okay. I trust you.
And I want you to do my silent prayer. Have you given that a try?
No. I don't know what that is.
Go to rebuildingaman.com/prayer.
Rebuildingaman.com?
Yeah, /prayer.
Mm-hmm.
And I want you to do that every morning, every night. And even though your father won't talk to you, according to you, you realize he can't help himself. If he was not living in the same hell you're in, it would have been different. And forgive your mother. Your mother was evil as well. She couldn't help herself. They did the best they could. They had no love. They have been traumatized by their parents.
Okay.
And do the silent prayer and watch those thoughts. And I want to just, in closing, I want you to know, in spite of all the hell you've been through, according to what you've told me, in spite of all the hell you've been through, the abortions and all that, You are not guilty of anything. You have never done anything wrong. You're not guilty. Satan influenced you to do those things, and then he told you you were guilty. It's not true. You're not guilty. You have never done anything wrong. It has always been the evil spirits that made a home in your imagination. And it brought on those feelings, and you thought that the thoughts and feelings were you, but you're not guilty of anything. God is not judging you because he knows it was never you. You never done anything wrong. All your sins are wiped away. You are free, but you have identified with evil and call it you.
Okay. Thank you, Jesse Lee.
Do the silent prayer and let me know how it goes.
Okay.
And don't let Satan convince you not to forgive your parents. You got to forgive them so that God can forgive you and draw you into the kingdom, and the rest is history.
Okay, I believe that.
Let me know how it goes.
Okay, I will.
Okay.
Take care. Thank you so much.
Anything I've said that you disagree with?
Not a thing.
Does it make sense?
It does make sense. I heard you talking about forgiving the father, and I mean, I just never thought it was even possible, but I do now.
Right on. Well, then, work on that. I'm telling you, you're going to see that you don't have a past. There's no such thing as a past or a future. All you really have is right now. Every day is a new day. It's being renewed every day. And you're being renewed every day.
Okay.
Let me know how it goes, all right?
Okay, thank you.
And apologize to your husband for giving him hell.
Oh, boy. I have. I have. That's why he married me a year ago. After I was sober about a year, he saw.
All right. I wish you well.
Okay.
Let me know how it goes.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. 888-7753-773. Let me go out to Canada and talk to Brandon, a first-time caller. Brandon, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Thank you, Jesse.
You're welcome. Go ahead.
Oh, yeah. I forgave my mother, and she disowned me.
She disowned you?
Yeah.
How you know that? What happened?
Well, I forgave her for turning me against my father, for making me feel shame and embarrassment as a child, among other things.
Right.
And she called me, and she said I live in a glass house, and she's above telling me what I did wrong, and she's the bigger person. And she felt like my forgiveness was, she conflated it with accusation, I think. She didn't understand that I was forgiving her. I was telling her why she was a bad person, but I didn't call her a bad person.
Right.
And she had told me she wants nothing to do with me anymore, and that was it.
And what do you think about it? How do you feel about that?
I mean, I find it kind of funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean, not my problem,
That's right. Absolutely. And just don't resent her. She cannot see.
Oh, I don't. I seen a picture of her the other day, and my heart breaks for her.
Right on. She cannot see. Amazing, man. You finally got rid of that witch.
Yeah.
That's amazing. And have you forgiven your father for not protecting you from her?
Yeah, I forgave my father a long time ago.
Oh, good.
Yeah, I was scared of my mom for a while there, and then I thought, you know what? I got to get this done.
Yeah, absolutely. How old are you?
I'm 28.
Right on, man. Well, have you started the silent prayer so you can learn to be present?
I did yesterday.
Right on. Stay with it. Stay with it. Stay with it, Brandon. You haven't seen anything, all right? I don't care who turned against you. I don't care what the devil tell you in your mind or his little demons. I don't care if the whole world turned against you. You stay on that straight and narrow.
I will.
Amazing. All right. Thank you, man.
Thank you, Jesse. I love you, brother.
Love you too, buddy. Thank you. Bye now. Amazing. let me go to Mitch, a first-time caller out of Kentucky. There's one line open, 888-7753-773. Mitch, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Thank you for having me on. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
So I am calling in regards to forgiving my father, and there's a bit of a unique situation with that. I have already forgiven my mother, and that was beneficial for me. I started coming back to Christ, and I feel like that has drawn me towards wanting to forgive my father, and it's really been weighing on me. But the issue is that he had experienced some complications through surgery that caused brain issues, and he's experienced mental health issues. So he's in another state, and I can talk to him on the phone. I don't want to ramble, but it's a bit of a complicated situation, and I don't know how to go about it.
And so you're able to speak to him on the phone, you say?
Yes. It's just a bit difficult. We used to have a really good relationship, and he used to live here. My parents were divorced, but I would see him on the weekend, and we were always very close. But then those complications happened, and he sort of just up and moved out of nowhere and kind of went off the deep end.
And so your question for me is what?
So I guess if I'm not able to have a relationship with him and I'm trying to do it for my own well-being, do you think that's like beneficial to do that, even if it's not two-sided or it's mainly just coming from me, even if he's not understanding?
Do I think...
Sorry,
I'm sorry. Repeat the question again. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Repeat the question for me again.
It's a complicated situation. I apologize.
No, it's not complicated. Just repeat the question.
I gotcha. So with him being in another state and with the mental issues he's having, it's kind of hard to communicate with him or have a reasonable conversation.
Uh-huh.
And I'm not able to see him in person, and that really has caused problems in trying to have a relationship with him. So I'm also worried about going down that path again.
And so your question is what?
I don't know. I'm just unsure how to go about it. Do you think that's still a good thing to do, even if it's just coming from my side and he's not really understanding or agreeing?
Right. He doesn't need to understand. And you don't need to have a relationship with him either. All you need to do is realize that just as you can help yourself, something else is driving you and making you feel a certain way and influencing you to do the things you wouldn't ordinarily do or don't want to do. Same thing with him. And by realizing that about him, about you, will cause you to realize it about him, and that will cause you to forgive him. And so if you can talk to him on the phone, since you can't meet up with him, you can, but he doesn't need to apologize or anything. You forgive him. Dad, I'm wrong for resenting you. I realize now you can help yourself. I'm sorry. And God will forgive you, but you don't have to have a relationship or anything. You will finally be free.
Okay, that makes sense.
But,
and then I
but
guess,
even if he can't talk on the phone, let's say he's mentally gone now, whatever going on with him, and you just can't communicate with him, you still just realize that he couldn't help himself so that you can forgive him.
Okay, so you still think I can have closure even if it's just me knowing that I forgive him?
100%.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. And then just one more piece of it. Do you have any advice as far as, even though if I'm able to forgive him, like the pain that I may have over the fact that I essentially lost my father?
Do you have pain on that, or what made you think?
Yeah.
Oh, you have pain on losing your father?
Yeah, because I essentially don't have a father anymore, and so while I'm able to forgive him, there's not really. I'm kind of yearning for a relationship with him that more than likely will never be able to exist.
How old are you?
I'm 25.
The one thing I can promise you, and without a doubt, and it's not because I'm doing it, I'm just telling you what's going to happen. Once you forgive him, you will have the love of a father. It will come from God. And it will be nothing missing. You will never yearn for the love of a father again. You're only feeling that pain of missing your father because you have not forgiven him. But to forgive him, the pain will be fulfilled with perfect love, and there will be no more void.
I'd never thought about that. I think that's a great thing for me to hear. I appreciate that.
You're welcome. Are you doing my silent prayer?
So I actually just discovered the silent prayer last night,
Okay.
and I plan to give that a try here shortly.
Yeah. You should do that, and you say you forgave your mother, right?
Yeah, I completely forgave my mother. Everything is good there, and we do have a much better relationship now.
Nice. Well, from this day forward, work on overcoming thoughts. All thoughts are all lies, except practical thoughts. Go to work, make a meal, whatever you do, build a house.
Right.
But all other thoughts are lies. They're evil, they hate you, and they want to destroy you. So do the silent prayer so God can bring you out of your imagination, and you just observe those thoughts. Don't talk to them. Don't call them good or evil. You just watch them, and it's the light of God inside of you that has caused you to see the not you. You're not your thought. And he will take them away from you, and they will have to go live in someone else, and you will be free.
I'm definitely going to try that. I probably will before I go to class here shortly.
All right.
But I wanted to say I appreciate it. I know I kind of rambled. It's a complicated situation, but I think your advice will really help me to find peace with this situation.
You will.
Thank you.
Without a doubt. Let me know how it goes, Mitch.
I will.
All right,
I
bud.
appreciate it.
You're welcome. Amazing.
Have a good one.
You too.
Amazing.
Amazing. 888-7753-773. Let me go to, is it Trey? Oh, Trey, hold on, buddy. Let me take a quick break. When I come back, straight to the phones and your super chats. Back in a moment. We have a counseling service, and I have to admit, thanks to God, it is the best counseling service on this side of heaven. I counsel with men and women, families, individuals around the world. Most people are unhappy, they're miserable, they have rough lives, they're depressed, suicidal, young and old, of all races. I understand, I know why, and I do understand it. Because exactly what's happening in me is happening with everybody outside of me, inside of them. And I've noticed that with those who really, really, really want to understand, they overcome it just like that, out of one counseling session. If you need counseling, you can go to rebuildingaman.com or call 800-411-2663. 800-411-BOND. Best counseling service on this side of heaven. Okay, folks, welcome back. Welcome. Brand new episode of The Fallen State tomorrow. If the Lord is willing and the creek don't rise. Brand new episode. A very interesting discussion with Buck Angel. And Buck is a transgender sex educator and former adult film star. Watch this.
Next time on The Fallen State.
I'm a transsexual man, so I was born female and I transitioned to live my life as a male. And sometimes you got to figure out in the world how to navigate through that.
Why not just change your mental state of being rather than changing your body?
It's a great question, and I did try, but it didn't work out for me. I deal with a lot of hate online from the transgender community. They're like me, but they're lying to you. The whole thing is a scam.
What is a man?
Heck if I know.
Very, very interesting discussion tomorrow on The Fallen State, and you can support The Fallen State right there, fallenstate.tv, thefallenstate.tv/donate, or onto locals.com. All right, locals.com. The Hake Report is coming up at 9 a.m. this morning. The Hake Report.com from 9 to 11 a.m. Pacific time. And then after the Hake Report, Joel Friday TV, he black. Joel Friday TV from 11 a.m. to 12, Monday through Thursday. And after the Joel Friday TV, he black. The Anchor Baby, the American Anchor Baby, at 12 noon today. Energy given to him by God. And for personalized shout-outs, go to, birthday shout-outs, wedding, anniversary, encouragement, whatever the occasion is, go to cameo.com/Jesse Lee Peterson. Cameo, cameo.com/Jesse Lee Peterson. Let me go quickly to Trey out of South Carolina. Trey, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Hey, Jesse, how you doing, man?
All this is well. Thanks for calling.
Awesome. I know you say don't ask a black man if he remembers, but I've called a few times. I think one thing you used before is that I told you my sons, I have twins that play college basketball, and about thoughts and about missing shots, that they cannot stay in the missed shot. I mean, making it simple. I don't know if you remember that discussion we had.
Never ask a black man if he remembers.
No. But anyway, like today being Bible Thunder Thursday, I'm telling you right now, today's I've been listening since the beginning of the show. Amazing. There's so many Bible thumbs up there that talk about leading people to Christ. What's happened today's episode, it's just changed so many lives and leading people to Christ and understanding the freedom you can have in Him. And so, you want to talk about Bible Thunder Thursday? What you've done so far today has been amazing.
Amazing.
I think you can agree to that. Just some of the stories and stuff here and what you've done to help guide them in the right way is just awesome. But I do have something I called in about that. Just want to see your thoughts on it too. And and you know, I believe in saved by grace, meaning that someone can go up and ask for Jesus into the heart. But I understand. I've been listening to you for a few years now. You've helped me a lot of issues with my father when he passed and things like that, and just some issues I have with my own self. You know, becoming to a beta to
Speak up a little bit. Speak up a little bit more. A little bit louder.
Okay, sorry.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm from South Carolina, so
I understand.
We don't sound our accents.
Yeah.
I understand.
Yeah.
But you're from the South too.
That's right. Sweet home Alabama.
But I think there's a difference of saved by grace and what you teach is being walking the kingdom now. And just want to see your thoughts on that. Like I think, like for example, the man on the cross of Jesus. You know, surely today you'll enter the heaven, enter the kingdom with me. And you know, like he didn't have a chance to really to go through the whole process that you preach about. And I see the difference. I see some people that they understand, they mean well. I don't know if that's the right wording. And they've, you know, preached Christ, but they still aren't walking. You know, they're the people that keep going to the front of the room saying, oh, you know, forgive me for this, forgive me for that, instead of understanding that you can have peace here and be in the kingdom of heaven now.
Right.
And so I wanted to see what your thoughts on that, on the difference of, if you believe this difference of being saved by grace and just accepting, but not really knowing that they can actually live in the kingdom now. And, you know, what you obviously teach is living in the kingdom now.
Okay, but first, and I am going to respond to that, but what do you say about the guy on the cross? You say he didn't have a chance to do what?
When Jesus spoke to the other man on the cross and he told him, surely you'll enter the kingdom.
Right.
You know, and I get, you know, he can change right away too. I know Christ can do that too. And but I was trying to use that as an example. Like I don't know if it's a good one, but it just basically the question was, do you believe that there's a saved by grace, but they're not really walking in the kingdom now, and they're the ones that keep saying, "Oh, sinners, Christians still sin," and things like that, and they mean well, and they know who Jesus is. I know it's intellectually, but they feel like they really changed. But you can kind of see it. Like what I'm saying is, like I go to church and I see these people that they mean well, and they're there worshiping what they think is worshiping, and I know they know who Christ is, but they don't understand that, you know, you can actually live in heaven now with him now.
Right. But let me just respond to the man on the cross. The moment the man on the cross recognized who Jesus was, he was able to see. In that very moment, he entered into the kingdom of heaven.
Yeah.
And so he didn't have to go forgive mama and all that because he was able to see. But so there was no other process for him to go through.
Mm-hmm.
And then what does it mean, saved by grace?
Just the grace that, you know, that Christ had died. You know, we're saved. Kind of like the first lady you were speaking with, that, you know, she no longer sins. Her sins have been forgiven. Just because Christ did that for us. And there's some that, you know, the basic, hey, I went down to the front of the church and I said, someone says, you know, hey, I gave my Lord, I gave my heart to Christ, and, you know, that type of deal, where they start living the way that traditional Christianity is taught. And
but the people who go down to the front of the church and claim they gave their life to Christ are lying. They didn't give anything to Christ.
Okay, so you don't believe in saved by grace, like
who? That lady down the street.
I knew you were gonna say that.
Miss Grace that lived out there made some good sweet potato pie.
Yeah.
I don't know. So, what does it mean to be saved by grace?
Well, see, I guess I see your point.
No, that was a question.
What was the question?
What does it mean when you say saved by grace? What do you mean?
I guess it's just an intellectual. Like my whole life, I knew that I knew who Christ was. I had, you know, I claimed to be like what I knew. What I was taught was Christianity. I gave my heart to Christ and did my best to just, you know, do the old school prayer, praying out loud, and doing old school Christianity, but I never knew that, wait a minute, the kingdom's really here until I really started The Lord Sent You, and not just you, like I said, which made me go into listening to the Holy Spirit, understanding what Christ really was teaching and what he was saying, and understanding the kingdom's actually here, that you can enter the kingdom now. It's not just waiting for you to die, to just trust the Lord until you die or until he comes back or whatever. Old school Christianity compared to understanding and knowing that, you actually can live in the kingdom here and now.
Right. And so what does it mean to be saved by grace?
Just like, I guess, old school Christianity, where people just go up and they say they know intellectually who Christ is, and they believe in their heart that they know he is, but they don't understand, but they still stay in pain and things like that. And it's like, once you...
But they don't believe in their heart. They believe in their intellect, which is evil. And their intellect is of the devil. All intellectual people are evil, even the Christians.
So let me ask you this. So if some people... Go ahead.
Hold that question, but don't forget it. If you're right, the Father sent his Son, and he's wiped away all of our sins, and now we're free, and there was nothing that we have done to deserve it. We can't take credit for it. It's not of us, and that is what grace is. But other than that, I don't know what you mean by grace.
Well, I understand that now. Now you sometimes speaking some things out loud and discussing. That's why fellowship is so
right.
Good.
Absolutely.
And because I've known that too, but I've had that question. I guess it's more of seeing it now after speaking out loud. Those that think that they are in church doing this for Christ, and I see now that it's really a lot of times it's for their own ego.
Christians are atheists. Most Christians are atheists. They don't believe in God. They just believe about him. And believing about God is not knowing him. It's just an idea they have about him, but they don't know him. That's why they're still suffering.
Yes, that's good. This preaches. It's so good, Jesse. I knew this, but I guess just speaking out loud, like I said, that's why it's so important to have fellowship in itself. And I'll tell you this, I know you got a lot of college waiting. Like I said, today's it's been amazing. My sons are graduating college this year, and they've already got jobs what they went to school for,
right on,
which is a blessing. But we're going to do something different. We travel the world a lot, and let's do that. But we're going to do something very different. We're going to get like just an RV, kind of like their last thing, and go out, and we're going to travel out. We've been all over the United States, but I've been more to California, and they haven't. So we're going to head out that way, and I'm going to do our very best to stop by to church fellowship with you.
Amazing. That'll be nice. Are you doing the silent prayer?
Yes, sir.
Every morning?
I've actually been every morning, every night. And it's been a blessing to understand that you can enter at any point in time. Once you start doing it every morning, every night, any point in time, like someone called a couple weeks ago, maybe last week, I can't remember, but they were talking about having anger and asking you if you ever had it while you're in traffic and stuff, things like that. As soon as any time that any kind of anger starts to seep up or anything like that, I notice it, see it, and then just kind of go into silent prayer or wherever. Or if you go into situations, you know that before you go into it, this situation, I'm going to be in prayer the whole time, silently with him.
And what's going to happen if you practice, like, when I say practice, walking through doors or getting in and out of your car or about to sit and have your meal, if you do those simple things, before you know it, you're going to find yourself being aware without your effort and without thinking about it. You're going to find yourself being present at all times. And it's just going to happen without you having anything else to do with it. You won't be in your head thinking about the past or the future, which doesn't exist anyway. And that's what God means about pray without ceasing. Always remember to stay present instead of living in time of your imagination.
Amazing. That's exactly right. I'll pray without ceasing. I guess that's the way the better way to word it is that once we started doing, my wife and I, the silent prayer morning and night, is just consistently staying in it to where anytime you notice that anger, like before I didn't, I would just snap off. And I'm a big man. I'm 6'5", 300 pounds, and I could just snap off, you know. And once you start to live into that silence, into that prayer without ceasing, you do start to notice it and to see it almost as a thought that you catch it and you give it to Christ, you get rid of it, you know.
Absolutely. And just don't call it you. All you need to do is see it. Just watch it and don't call it you, and it will be taken away.
Amazing. And I don't want to last question. You know, all thoughts are all lies, and I've also come to believe that even some practical thoughts are lies too. For example, I'm hungry. Then some people overeat because sometimes hunger, they're really thirsty. They're not hungry. Their mind tells them.
That's a good point, man. Yeah, that's a very good point.
So you have to take all thoughts captive.
Absolutely,
even those. So. Thank you so much, Jesse and crew. Love you guys.
Love you.
See y'all this summer.
All right, buddy. That'll be amazing.
All right, yes, sir. You have a good one.
All right, you too. Amazing. 888-7753-773. Super chat. Super
chats. Jack says 3 over on X. Says silent prayer really helps with the short fuse.
So what now?
Silent prayer really helps with short fuse.
Amazing. For some reason, I'm not hearing you through my headset.
Oh.
I hear you over there, but not over here.
Oh, what a pain.
Let me see.
Testing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
What they
6.
done over there when we need them over here.
Testing.
I'm hearing you outside of my headset.
What a pain.
Okay, go ahead.
Donnie Girl,
thank you for the super chat.
Jack says,
yeah.
Donnie Girl's idea donated yesterday a Rumble rant. The dictionary shows the second definition of fear, I might have read this, is awe. Also, I've been told fear is being afraid. Awe.
Oh, you ought to not do that?
No, awe is short for awesome.
Fear is awesome?
No, fear is short for awe. I mean, fear is awe. When something that's awesome sparks awe in you, inspires awe in you. You're like, oh.
And fear?
That's another definition of fear. That's the
so
second
when
definition.
You say, oh, you're in fear?
Right, but not the bad kind of fear.
Ain't no good fear.
It's just a word, Jesse.
Okay. I just want to understand it.
I have also been told that fear is being afraid we don't appreciate him, just as you have said, Jesse.
So what now?
She's also been told that fear is being afraid that you don't appreciate him.
Who?
God.
What?
That's what she was told. Told that fear is being afraid you don't appreciate him.
Appreciate fear?
That's what it means to. That's what she was told that it means to fear God.
Fear means being afraid.
You don't rightly appreciate God.
That you're. Fear is evil. Evil doesn't want you to even know God.
Are you clear on what awe means?
Awe means like you scared as hell.
A-W-E. That's not scared as...
It's like, oh!
No, that's A-W-H. This is A-W-E.
Like, oh, shucks.
Like awesome.
But I don't know how they go with fear, though.
Anyway, let's move forward.
Nick,
it's going to take too long.
Come and hear this. And see if you hear that.
Sure.
Oh, you don't want to try now? I'll do it during the news. Oh, okay.
Charles.
Thank you, though. I don't understand it, but thank you.
Yeah, it's just, fear doesn't mean scared necessarily.
What do it mean? It don't mean sweet. Hello?
It means awe.
No, it doesn't.
Well, you don't know. You weren't there.
Right. Oh, I went there.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay.
Charlotte bought a coffee. Hey, Jesse, every time I go to Kaiser, all I see is black female doctors. They don't even wear doctor uniforms. They dress in regular clothes and their mannerisms are cold and soulless.
Amazing.
Since when did they become so smart to become doctors?
Affirmative action.
Whoa.
Amazing. Thank you.
Amir bought a coffee. Hi, Jesse and crew. I have a question. I'm 42, single father, and turning my back on the fallen state. My wife passed away last year. I have a home.
Oh, I can hear you better now.
Nice.
Go ahead.
I have a home and several sources of income. Do you think I should ever get married again? If so, should I date younger women? If not, aside from raising my son in Christ's way, what should I do?
Repeat that.
So he's 42, single father, turning a back on the fallen state. Wife died last year, passed away. Have a home, several sources of income. Should I ever get married again? If so, should I date younger women? If not, aside from raising my son in Christ's way, what should I do?
Well, I can't tell you what to do, but I can tell you that if you do get married, you're going to lose everything you got. If you want more hell, then get married. But if you don't want any more hell, I wouldn't recommend it. Amazing. Thank you. But it's up to you.
Thank you, Amir.
Thank you, Amir.
Starcion's Coffee. Jesse, trying every day to save the men from being destroyed and keep men manly so they can lead us. But too many feminine men walking around, and they say they are straight. Scrunched face, laughing face emojis. Tears coming out sideways, too, emoji.
Don't judge them, Sion. They know not what they can't see. They don't know. So see it, but don't judge it. Have no opinion. Thank you. Amazing.
Five coffees from someone. Hi, Jesse. I've forgiven my mother 4 times.
You don't need to keep going doing it. What the?
Each and every time I've said it in different ways. I believe I have forgiven her. However, by listening to your videos, I might have not. I do feel.
Are you gonna go back a 5th time?
I do feel uncomfortable calling her because of the way she tries to make me feel guilty for not calling her. I do believe she's powerless because of the evil inside of her, which I also have, and I know how destructive it is, and we have no control. Please advise.
Oh, man. Come on, man.
Like that.
Yeah. Drop it, man. Don't keep, lady. Is it male or female?
It's just a someone.
Oh, someone. Drop it. Don't keep going back. As soon as you realize you're wrong for resenting her, you went and forgave her because you realize you can't help yourself. Be done with it and move on with your life. Thank you.
Elizabeth Marie bought a coffee. My answer to the biblical question.
What do you value in life?
I value peace and truth. Elizabeth Marie.
Thank you, Elizabeth. I'll put my 2 cents in on Sunday. If the Lord is willing and the creek don't rise. This Sunday is Easter Sunday, right?
That's right. Tomorrow's Good Friday.
Happy Easter, happy Good Friday.
Hope we get there. Nice, thank you.
Oh, the definition to awe?
Yeah.
From Oxford?
Yep. A feeling of respect mixed with fear and wonder. The music is coming in. You don't hear it because you don't have the headphones on. A feeling of respect mixed with fear or wonder.
I can hear you a little bit now. I couldn't hear it all in my headset before.
Nice.
I can hear the people that call in. I can hear the music, but I couldn't hear you.
I can barely hear myself either.
Let me take a break. Thank you all. 1 more hour to go. 1 more hour. When I come back, we'll move a call. We'll finish in Super Chats. Hake is coming in with the hate news, not the fake news. Now I can't hear myself. Hate news. I'll be back.
I just want to say thank you for everything that you do. You've absolutely changed my life for the positive, and I just want to thank you. I was 29-year-old beta, living at home with my mom, and just was living in fear and doubt, and I couldn't hold down a job. And then I found you, and I started listening. I started just being more at peace, and I forgave my mom, and I forgave my father. And it's like right after that, everything just changed in my life, and I was able to get a good job, and I moved out, and I live on my own now, and everything has just changed. And I just want to say thank you, and I appreciate you for spreading that message. It really is a positive message.
Amazing. That's good, man. I want people to know God loves us in ways that there are no words to express, because you have nothing to compare it to, right? Stay with the silent prayer. You haven't seen anything yet. It gets better.
Invasion pushed by a federal judge, or federal judges, sounds like. Women pushing child care benefits so they can work at companies and not be mothers to their children. And they found 2 bodies after that bridge collapse. 4 still missing, at least as of earlier this morning or something. This is the end of hour 2 of the Jesse Lee Peterson Show, Bible Thumper Thursday, March 28th, AD 2024. Stay tuned for hour 3. Last hours coming right up. JLP will be right back to your calls. The lines are full, guys. But first, Hake news on fake news. Invasion. Commie Nonsense Network, CNN reports a controversial, meaning halfway reasonable, Texas law that allows state officials to arrest and detain migrants, meaning illegals, that they suspect of entering the country illegally, will remain blocked while legal challenges play out. In a 2-to-1 vote, a federal appeals court said the law, known as SB 4, Senate Bill 4, will continue to be blocked in Texas while the court considers a larger question of whether it violates the U.S. Constitution. The laws raise concerns among immigration advocates, people who support the invasion, of increased racial profiling, as well as detentions and attempted deportations by state authorities in Texas, where Latinos represent 40% of the population. Quite high. SB 4 has been in limbo after the Supreme Court last week allowed it to go into effect for a short period, only for the appeals court panel to put it back on hold hours later. Liberal judges. Yay, not raising your children, ladies. The far-left female-run outlet The Skimmer promoting child care benefits propaganda. A new report, quote-unquote, found companies that offered child care benefits to their employees saw up to a 425% return on investment, ROI. Oh, Lord. Researchers looked at 5 companies of various sizes, just 5, including UPS and Etsy that provide benefits like emergency on-site daycare and stipends, whatever you call it. They found that for every $1 spent on child care benefits, companies earned between roughly $1 and $4.25 back through reduced absences and lateness and lower rates of attrition. They're not losing their female employees, or maybe some single father employees, who knows. Still, experts have described the report as limited and said much more research is needed. The findings come as child care costs continue to climb, while the government drags its feet on universal child care legislation. They want your kids, sick people, leaving it up to the private sector to step up for working so-called parents. What a mess. Bridge collapse. The bodies of 2 of the 6 construction workers who allegedly died after a cargo ship hit a pillar, reportedly, of Baltimore's Francis Scott Key Bridge, according to CNN, have been recovered. 2 bodies recovered. Those bodies are reportedly dead. Search efforts been paused for 4 of the 4 other workers presumed dead. An assessment of the incident found the ship's crew first signaled trouble with the vessel when a pilot radioed for help from tugboats about 1:26 a.m. Eastern Time Tuesday, just about 3 minutes before the ship hit a bridge column. The National Transportation Safety Board said that, citing data from a voyage recorder. The investigation into the collision could take up to 2 years. Isn't that convenient? No. According to NTSB Chair Jennifer Homendy. In the meantime, the flow of ships in and out of Baltimore has been halted indefinitely. What a mess. There's a little bit of Gaza drama going on, if you don't know. Israeli Prime Minister-based Benjamin Bibi Netanyahu told members of the U.S. Congress that victory in Gaza is just a few weeks away as Israel pushes forward in its planned offensive in the region. Netanyahu added Israel had no choice but to move into Rafah, where more than 1 million people are sheltering Palestinians, reportedly, because the country's very existence is on the line. Which country? Maybe both. Well, neither. Disagreements over the impending invasion in Rafah has driven relations between Netanyahu and evil Biden to a low point. I'm James Hake. Now back to JLP, Hour 3.
got to stand up strong. Think the truth about themselves to understand what went wrong. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way to stand up, stand up, stand up.
Uniting the races with truth instead of dividing them with lies. We're also rebuilding the family by rebuilding the man. I'm Jesse Lee Peterson. Welcome to the third hour of the show already. That's amazing. The third hour. You can get involved by calling 888-7753. 773 888-77 Jesse, Jesse. My biblical question for this week, and happy upcoming Easter, by the way. My biblical question: what do you value in your life? What do you value in your life? Isn't that an amazing question? What do you value in your life? We have every way that you can, you can listen to the show if you're out and about, where you're busy or working out or making breakfast, lunch, and dinner, or you're just too lazy to get up and turn the radio on, or whatever. You could be listening on your iPhone or iPad. Since you grabbed your iPhone or iPad as soon as you open your eyes, you could be listening to the show. You can podcast later, but you could be listening by calling the listen line at 641-793-1500. 641-793-1500. Follow us on social media. Like, follow, ring the bell, subscribe. JLP Talk on X. JLP Talk on X. And also Jesse Lee Peterson on Instagram. Rumble. You got to know how to rumble.com. And Cozy, Cozy, where Christ is King. Cozy.tv/JLP. It's Friday. It's the last hour of it's Thursday, not Friday, but Thursday. Last hour of the Thursday show. And every Thursday is Bible Bumper Thursday.
Oh, God! Oh, God! Are you ready? Are you ready?
Are you ready?
Feel your faith. Are you ready? Are you...
Amazing. Amazing. Bible Thumper Thursday, 888-7753-773, 888-77 Jesse. I want to, speaking of Bibles, there's a brand new Bible. We're in addition to the original Bible. And it is amazing. I haven't seen it yet, but it was done by an amazing person, the Great White Hope. Some of you may have heard of this new Bible, the addition to the Bible. It is called Trump's Bible. I'm like, wow, what an amazing idea. Amazing. The Hill is reporting in a video posted on Tuesday, Trump pitched his God Bless USA Bible. This is a USA Bible. It doesn't get any better than that. Watch this from Lee Greenwood.
This Bible is the King James Version and also includes our founding father documents. Yes, the Constitution, and also the Bill of Rights, the Declaration of Independence, and the Pledge of Allegiance. Many of you have never read them and don't know the liberties and rights you have as Americans and how you are being threatened. Religion and Christianity are the biggest things missing from this country. In the end, we do not answer to bureaucrats in Washington. We answer to God in heaven. We love God, and we have to protect anything that is pro-God. Our founding fathers did a tremendous thing when they built America on Judeo-Christian values. Now that foundation is under attack, perhaps as never before. Christians are under siege, and I think you all should get a copy of God Bless the USA Bible now and help spread our Christian values with others. Let's make America pray again. God bless you, and God bless the USA.
Wow. God bless the USA. Amazing. It would take Donald Trump to come up with this. A man who knows God. What? Just imagine now you got the whole thing in one book. You got the Word, you got the Constitution, you got the Pledge of Allegiance, you got everything in one book. A book of all books. Thank you, Mr. President. You know, I was on Fox News last night with Trace Gallagher. Trace Gallagher, sorry about that. And we were talking about this, and I said, can you imagine we have a president that really, really believes in God? He's not afraid. We never had that in government. Well, we have, but it's been years and years ago. Can you imagine having a person like the Great White Hope back in the White House? You can count your blessings, name them one by one. It would be amazing. Thank you, Mr. President. Your Bible, USA Bible. But the children of Satan are unhappy about this one. They're like, what the? You going to bring God back into the... It ain't going to happen. They don't like it at all. Satan and his demons are having a hissy fit about the Great White Hope, bringing back the Word to the White House, into government. Watch this from Mediac. MSNBC's Morning Joe had a good laugh over the God Bless the USA Bible. MSNBC, watch this.
This Bible seems to me to be a new level of culty. It also, if you listen to his comments, it's painful, but I did. He blames America for everything he's done to it, which is especially culty.
Oh, my God. I mean, it is not only culty, it is grifty. It is so much on brand for Donald Trump. He's commodifying the Bible during Holy Week, that he's selling it for $60, and this money might go to pay some of the legal fees. Donald Trump has been asked in the past, what is your favorite verse of the Bible? And he has no idea. He talks about 2 Corinthians. He's been asked by faith leaders, do you ever ask for forgiveness? Do you ever pray? And not really.
Satan children are ticked about this. Anything but the Word. They're like, what the? Amazing, huh? What a mess. 888-7753-773. Let me go to Curtis out of Louisiana. There's one line open right now. Curtis, welcome to the show. You're on the air. Curtis? Okay. I'm going to put Curtis on hold just in case. Tony out of Michigan. You're on the air. Tony, welcome to the show.
Hey, Jesse.
Hey, Tony.
Yeah, I'm just calling to see. Okay, I'm calling Just a couple of things. I'm a Bible thumper.
Bible Thumping Thursday.
Yeah, that's right. Bible thumper Thursday. So I'm calling, first of all, are you a Christian, Justin?
No.
You're not Christian? What are you?
A Christian.
How can you say you're Christian and then you say you're not a Christian? Which one is it?
I'm a Christian.
Are you sure?
I don't identify it one, but if you wanted to know what religion I belong to, it would be Christianity.
But then you say you're not a Christian.
I just told you, if you want to know what religion I identify with, it would be Christianity.
Okay, so.
Are you a Christian?
No, I'm not. I'm a son of God. God didn't call us to be Christians. He called us to be sons of God.
How do you know you're a son of God?
Because I gave my life to Christ and now follow him.
And how did you give your life to Christ?
Because I became a son.
Of what?
I became a son because he died for me, and I asked for his forgiveness, and he made me a son. He gave me the power to become a son. By him shedding his blood.
And so you went and forgave your mother.
Then you will know, Jesse.
You went and forgave your mother.
I don't need to forgive my mother.
So how did you become a son?
He never told me to forgive my mother.
So how did you become? How did you become a son?
My sins to him.
And how did you become a son of God if you have not entered into the kingdom?
I'm already entered into the kingdom.
What kingdom?
The kingdom of God.
What?
Why do I need to forgive my mother, Jesse?
How would
in the scriptures? The scriptures will say I need to forgive my mother?
How would you enter into the kingdom of heaven if you don't go and forgive in order to enter into the kingdom of heaven?
Because that's not what he told me. He said confess your sins to him.
Oh, okay. Well, whatever worked for you, Tony.
Jesse? Do you believe in sin?
Tony, whatever you work for. Do you have any other real question for me?
No, I'm asking you this.
888-7753-773. He want to argue. I don't want to argue not about the word. Robin is a first-time caller out of Oklahoma. Robin, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Welcome, Jesse. I'm sure glad to be on your show. I've enjoyed it, watching it. I've got a question for you. We've got the alpha male bucket, so to speak, and everyone wants to get in. They all want to be alpha male.
You say you got the alpha male what now?
The bucket. So you know what I'm saying? Everyone, they want to group as an alpha male, but there are some that are beta males, and we know that, and that's. But to me, the beta male bucket is way too big in this day and age to catch everything. I'm thinking we need like a Charlie males, Delta males. Maybe Charlie males are the ones that are transvestites, where they started as one sex and ended up as another sex. You know, I don't think all those need to fall under a beta male because I don't think they're represented. You know what I'm saying?
So you're saying we need more category of beta?
Yes.
Oh.
Yes.
And why not just return to the Father and let all categories go?
Human nature.
Why not just return to the Father and let all categories go?
Oh, I'm happy with that.
Okay, so I wouldn't create another. Nature. I wouldn't create another bucket then if the solution is to just return to the Father.
It is. It is. I mean, that is the solution. But I mean, you know, the day and age that we're having, where all the LGBTQ whatever, they're making it so complicated. It's like, I don't think all of those are beta males. They're worse. You know what I'm saying?
I don't.
Okay. Well, that was just my view. Was I think we need more buckets. We need
to point everyone, those who want to return to the Father, we need to point them back to the Father and not create more buckets. Because
I agree with you.
The people who are doing those things, they're lost. And
well, they are.
They're lost.
Yeah.
Thank you, Robert. I appreciate it, man. I got to run, but thank you.
All right.
All right, buddy.
Take care.
Okay. 888-7753-773. Amazing. let me go to Zachary, a first-time caller out of Tennessee. Zachary, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Jesse, thank you. Hi.
Hey, Zachary.
That's the first thing I wanted to tell you was thank you. I've watched a lot of your videos. Man, thank you for giving it up for the white man and standing up for us. That's the first thing I wanted to say, man. So that was like when I started getting into you, and I had a lot of.
I don't stand up for the white man. I don't stand up for anyone. I'm just pointing those who want to come out of the hell. I'm just pointing the way back to heaven while they yet live on earth. But I'm not standing for anyone in particular.
Yeah.
And I know that I do mention.
You are a blessing.
I know I do mention what's happening to the white people in their own country, and I'm a little surprised that white men don't protect their families.
Yeah, they don't kind of bounce back a lot.
And deal with life in the right way. I'm a little surprised by that.
Yeah, that's true too. That's actually leading into what I wanted to say, because I noticed a lot in my life, and I've lived a lot of what you talk about. I've lived it all. Like 32 years old.
Like what, for example?
Well, dude, oh man. Well, for starters, I live with my dad from the very get-go. My mom walked out. My mom was an overachiever. My dad was an underachiever.
What's an overachiever?
Yeah, my dad had gifts. He had something.
What is an overachiever?
I don't know. Someone who really took over and really became everything they wanted to be, I guess. What God wanted them to be, what God made them to be.
There's no such thing as an overachiever.
Right.
And what's an underachiever?
Yeah. Well, I've noticed.
What is an underachiever?
Well, just to neglect my name calling.
Come back to your phone. You said what? To neglect what now?
Neglect like God's calling for you. Yes.
How do you neglect God calling for you?
Well, I feel like that's only possible if you know that God has given you something to do, and God has made you to do something, made you a certain way to do a certain thing.
And you believe that your father was made to do certain things?
Yeah.
Like what, for example?
Well, he really wanted to do one thing in life, and that was open a dojo, like a karate studio. And he could have done it, and he just never did. And I always...
Who are you closest to, your mother or your father?
My dad.
You are?
Yeah, I want to say that, but he doesn't really call me. I always have to call him. And I don't feel like it's me and him against the world anymore. And I'm like buried in this whole system that I have been since like '96. Like Jesse, I don't like living in the suburbs. I don't like it. I don't want to.
Because of time, what's your question for me?
Well, a question would be, I just want to know how to, dude, I don't know if I have one.
Zachary, hold on, buddy. Hold on. Don't hang up. I'm going to let Sean talk to you. Because of time, could you be a little clearer for me? Let me go to Bree. 888-775-3773. Let me go to Bree out of Florida. Bree, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Hi, Jesse. How are you today?
All is well, Bree.
Wonderful. I want to answer the biblical question.
What do you value in life? What do you value in life?
I think at the point of my life where I am right now, I value peace more than anything.
You have no peace?
I do.
Oh, you do, and you value that?
I value that.
You value peace. Amazing. Well, I appreciate you responding. I want to talk to you about it, but I got to wait until Sunday.
Okay. I also wanted to say that I like to say, like, everybody's calling it a Trump Bible, which kind of give like a negative like connotation to it, like Trump created a Bible that says something different from God's word, because that's pretty much what the haters of Trump want to make it seem like. But I would like to call it the Trump Bible package, and I think it's a really very smart idea, because all Americans should have three things in their home: the Word of God, the Constitution, the American Constitution, and the Bill of Rights. Every American should have that in their home.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think it's a smart idea, and I'm going to buy one.
That's right. Do you like the idea that it's called God Bless USA Bible?
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah. I like that.
You like that?
But I'm black. I want a discount.
No discounts. You don't get discounts on Bibles. What the? Amazing.
All right, Jesse, you have a good day. I don't want to hold up your phone lines. I just wanted to talk to you for a
All
minute.
right, Bree, good to hear from you, and I will put my little 2 cents in on Sunday, all right?
All righty, I'll be listening.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Amazing. 888-775-3773. 53773. Let me go to Matthew from Canada. Matthew, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Hello, Jesse.
Hey, Matthew.
Hey, I was just calling up. I think you had the biblical question. I didn't know about that until now, or whatever it was. I think for me, I appreciate.
Are you responding to the biblical question?
What was that?
You want to respond to the biblical question?
Yeah, I just heard about it, and
what do you value in life?
Yeah, the talent that I have from God. I'm extremely creative, and it's an amazing thing to be able to express and to be able to play piano and music and share that with people.
Right on.
I love it.
Amazing.
So
I'll put my little 2 cents in on Sunday.
Nice. I called up for a question, though. I just wanted to ask, was Adam and Eve the first and only people to be created, or is there other people that already existed somewhere else?
I don't know. That's an interesting question. I don't know.
Oh, okay. I just had that question with someone I know, because we're like, who did they have kids with? Their kids and all that. And I was like, I wonder if there's already people.
Yeah. I don't know,
do you
man.
Believe, Jesse?
Look like I've
Jesse,
heard. Look like I've heard that there were people before Adam and Eve, but I can't remember at this point.
Yeah.
Were there
And
people
the other
before
thing would
Adam
be,
and Eve, Hake? Maybe, I don't know. Oh, Hake doesn't know either. So if Hake doesn't know.
Oh, if Hank doesn't know, no one knows.
That's right. What the?
My question, what was it? I was going to ask Adam and Eve, and I forget. I got caught up in the Hank. I was going to see, because it was Adam and Eve, was there other people?
Well, when you remember, call me tomorrow if you remember. I got to run because of time.
Yep.
Thank you.
All right, Jesse, thanks.
All right, buddy. Super chat.
Super chats. Evgeny Crosby with a couple of diamonds yesterday. I value my freedom. I value my peace. And I value the silent prayer.
To the biblical question?
Apparently so. I just realized as well.
What do you value in life?
I value my freedom, peace, and the silent prayer. Amazing.
Amazing. Thank you. I'll put my 2 cents in on Sunday. Thank you.
Adler donated on Cash App. Bond JLP on Cash App. Thanks, Jesse.
Thank you. Amazing. I appreciate it.
Adler.
Yeah.
RK3 Coffees. I am having difficulty being open to dating, especially when I see so many women wanting me to approach them. Any advice to solve or overcome this? I have already forgiven my parents and am doing the silent prayer every day.
Well, I don't quite understand that, but I'll just say don't put in the thought, don't put in the effort into it at all. Just seek what's right, work on yourself, seek the kingdom of God His right way, and life will become easy. And if it's meant for you to have one, you will. If not, but you'll be fine either way. But don't put an effort into it. It's not a big deal. Thank you.
Over on Cash App, Chalice donated saying thanks.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Bond JLP.
Right on.
Shout out to the top contributors yesterday: WD41, Coffee Talk with Sandra, Evgeny Crosby, Aries 1, Misty, and the rest of the supporters on D Live. Thank you guys.
Thank you. Amazing.
This morning, MB donated 3 coffees. I am a musician on the worship team at my local hoopin' and hollerin' church. If praying out loud is praying to the devil, is singing all these modern worship songs singing to the devil?
Yeah. It's all for the thrill of it. But there is a conscious way of enjoying music. It really is. Music was made for us to enjoy, but not to get an identity from. And so there is I almost don't want to tell y'all this yet because you're going to grab it and run with it and not understand it. But there is, and we'll deal with this one day, but there is a conscious way of enjoying music. All right? Thank you.
Over on buymeacoffee.com/JLP Talk, Josh from Georgia, biblical question response.
Hey, Josh from Georgia.
Hey.
What do you value in life, Josh?
I'm not sure what I value because I don't know myself completely. Ideas, thoughts, and fake identities that I've developed throughout my life seem to be constantly tricking me into believing that I value what I really don't value, or that I want what I really don't want.
Amazing.
Interesting.
Excuse me. A hiccup. Thank you, Josh. I'm sorry about that.
Too much beer.
I'll put my 2 cents in on Sunday. Thank you so much.
The Observer of Thoughts bought our coffee. Answer to the biblical question.
What do you value in life? I never drank beer because
I know.
I got drunk one time as a teenager with beer.
Uh-huh.
That was it.
Nice.
Every time I think of it now, it makes me want to throw up.
Yep. The Observer
Thank you.
of Thoughts answer to the biblical question.
From
Coffee.
who?
The Observer of Thoughts.
Okay. That's the name of the person?
Yeah, what do you
Okay.
value in life?
Right.
I value awareness. I value being present. I catch myself going in and out of consciousness. When I snap out of my thoughts, I'm grateful. There's nothing like being in the moment all the time. It takes daily working on myself. Thank you, Jesse and the team, for the amazing work! !
Amazing. Thank you, and thanks for your support as well. And I'll put my little 2 cents in about the biblical question. Thank you.
5 coffees from The Key. Thank you, The Key. CNN reported March 21st, 2024, Mitch McConnell's sister-in-law, Angela Chow, C-H-A-O, was intoxicated when she drove her Tesla into a lake pond, really. I looked this story up, and died. This event happened 6 days prior to the cargo ship accident in Baltimore. I think it was more than 6 days. I was looking into it.
Pond?
Yeah, February 10th, she was at a pond, outside of a pond at a large gathering, and her friends watched her. She was drunk, allegedly, according to the story, and backed her Tesla into the lake.
Her Tesla?
Her Tesla, the electric car, into the pond, and the people were watching in horror, trying to rescue her, calling the police. Police couldn't rescue her.
She was drunk, allegedly?
Yeah.
Oh, she wanted to go swimming?
No, she didn't know what she was doing, apparently.
Oh.
According to the story.
Amazing.
But anyway, she says, it's reported the Tesla went into reverse on its own, causing her to go into the lake. What's even more, which I don't know if that's reported or not. What's even more interesting, it's reported Angela Chow was the owner and CEO of the cargo ship company at fault for the accident, which she was in charge of a cargo ship company, but not that one. In charge of the Baltimore Bridge
Somebody
thing.
got this all
so
wrong.
I'm fact-checking her in real time just for the sake of the channels.
Yeah.
JLP and crew, can we smoke on this one together? ?
No, your facts are all wrong. No smoking on this one.
But you might want to smoke on getting suckered for these speculation stories, The Key.
Yeah.
But thank you, and pardon me if I trudged all over your coffees.
Let me take a quick break, and I'll be back. We'll finish the super chats and your phone calls. Back in a moment.
Like my cousin, sent me you, and I thank him for that. It was more of a, he thinks the whole like everything's a joke. That just adds a little spice to it. But in the heart of what you're saying, there is real things going on. And people want to overlook that. And I'm telling you, Mr. Peterson, I'm not one of those people. And I thank God that, he showed you to me. And sometimes we just need some Jesse in our lives, I guess.
I wish we had more brothers like you. We need more brothers like you. Just because we don't have most guys that can, lead black people into the right direction. And I thank you for that, because a lot of people will be like, man, it's still going on. It's racism. Yeah. And I try to tell them, like, watch his show. Listen to this brother. He's telling the truth.
Take no thought about tomorrow. Yesterday doesn't exist. And you're going to see, man, God is with us and all is well. Okay, we're back. There's one line open. 888-7753-773. 888-77-JESSE. Couple announcements. At the top of this hour, at 9 a.m. Pacific time, the Hake, H-A-K-E report.com. The Hake report.com. From 9 to 11 a.m. Pacific time. And by the way, the treasure chest is now open on D-Live. And after the Hake Report from 9 to 11 a.m. Pacific time, Joel Friday TV, he black. Joel Friday, he black. Friday TV at 11 a.m. Pacific time from 11 to noon. And after Joel Friday TV, the American Anchor Baby. A genius. A genius. Energy given to him by God. It's not even on loan. It's given to him by God. And you don't want to miss it. Amazing. At 12 noon. And tomorrow, if the Lord is willing and the creek don't rise, a brand new episode of the Fallen State.tv. It was one of my most interesting interviews on the Fallen State. It was very, very interesting. I talked to Buck Angel, and she is a transgender sex educator and former adult film star. Watch this.
Next time on The Fallen State.
I'm a transsexual man, so I was born female, and I transitioned to live my life as a male. And sometimes you got to figure out in the world how to navigate through that.
Why not just change your mental state of being rather than changing your body?
It's a great question, and I did try, but it didn't work out for me. I deal with a lot of hate online from the transgender community. They're like me, but they're lying to you. The whole thing is a scam.
What is a man?
Heck if I know.
It was very interesting. That's tomorrow at 12 noon, thefallenstate.tv. And you can support, and I encourage you to support The Fallen State by going to thefallenstate.tv/donate, or you can do it on locals.com. And also support my nonprofit, Bond, for 35 years, or 34, 35. We've been rebuilding the family by rebuilding the man. Go to rebuildingtheman.com/donate or call 800-411-BOND. 800-411-2663. And I'll thank you for it. All right, and you can mail it in as well. P.O. Box. Make the check money order out to Bond. P.O. Box 35090. P.O. Box 35090, L.A., California, 90035. All right? 90035. And thank you all in advance. It's tax deductible. We need the finance. We got a lot more work to do. All right? And I know a lot of you are helping, so you know that, hey, this man help us, this team help us. Let us help him to help others. Thank you. But some people you have to remind. They get the help, but they don't give back so we can help others. All right? Let me, Hake, yes. Let's finish the super chat. And then I'll get to the call.
Super chat.
Super.
Stan 69 with a diamond. When will radical Islamic horror be stopped? Bomb emoji, explosion emoji.
Thank you. I don't know. I don't know. Thank you.
Pardon me, I cleaned up your super chat. At this point, just call me Mike. Bought 3 coffees. Hi, Jesse. I was short on money to buy you coffees since I lost my job. I couldn't make an update of the day 3 of dropping my morals and values. The U.S. kicked me out. My Spanish wasn't that great. Now I'm a recovered fentanyl addict, and I think I'll take back my morals and values. I'm not sure where I dropped them, but I'm sure the silent prayer will help. Thank you, Jesse. Blue Heart. Salute.
Amazing. And the homework for the fellowship crew this week was to drop your values. Drop your morals and values. It's been interesting, the feedback I've been getting. Thank you.
Jitsu James 3 coffee. Spiritual question. What do you value in life?
What do you value in life?
I value civility in the world. Without it, how would countries or communities function in a positive direction? Also, I'm shaking in my boots to go through having to counseling session with you, Jesse. I need to face the truth about myself. I feel lots of progress, but I feel I've made lots of progress, but with solving one problem, others take their place.
We have amazing counseling service, right? By phone, Skype, or walk-in. So if you need counseling, family, individual counseling, go to rebuildingtheman.com, rebuildingtheman.com, or call 800-411-BOND to make an appointment. And if we're a little backed up, be patient. Sometimes people cancel, sometimes they don't. We'll let you know. All right? Thank you.
Stan 69 with another diamond. Is Islam the problem in the Mideast or Judaism? Mind-blown emoji.
The primary problem is no love, all ego, both.
Joey bought a coffee. Thank you, Stan69. Joey bought a coffee. God bless Brandon. I wish my mother disowned me after forgiveness. I still got to go over there and catch hell. 3 laughing face sideways emojis scrunched with tears coming out. Right on.
Amazing. Thank you. He's referring to a caller earlier.
Right. He's not referring to the saying, God bless Brandon.
Right.
Donnie, girl's idea. Dawn, Rumble Rant. Your faith has saved you. Go in peace. Luke 7:50.
Amazing. Oh, that reminds me. I want to read something for you from, who was it from?
Matthew?
Casey.
Oh.
Out of Texas. It says, John 5:25. I speak to you an eternal truth. Soon the dead will hear the voice of the Son of God, and those who listen will arise with life. That's so deep. That is so deep. I hardly know what to do with it. You understand that, Hake?
I tuned it out. I was looking through Super Chats.
Oh, okay, no problem.
Yeah, sorry.
John 5:25. I speak to you eternal truth. Soon the dead will hear the voice of the Son of God, and those who listen will arise from the dead. And every human being is dead, even though you're walking around, your eyes open, but you're dead until you hear the truth. You listen and hear the truth, you will arise. Isn't that amazing? Amazing. Thank you, Casey.
Yeah, thank you,
he said Casey, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, Casey.
And shout out to Dawn for the "Your faith has saved you. Go in peace," Luke 7:50.
Thank you.
Pastor Chatelet donated Rumble Rant. Forgive others by the same measure we forgive, so shall our Father in heaven see and forgive us.
Yep.
Thank you, Chatelet.
Amazing. Thank you.
Donnie Girl's idea says Matthew 6:14 and 15 will explain it for him regarding forgiveness, which says, if you forgive men their trespasses, your heavenly Father will also forgive you. But if you do not forgive men their trespasses, neither will your Father forgive your trespasses.
He doesn't want to give. He wants to argue. Leave him in hell.
Nice.
Never, ever, ever, but never, ever again, people, try to convince anyone of the truth. You argue with the devil. Don't try it with your children. Don't try it with your family, your friends, your workers, no one. Either they see it or they don't. And most people don't want to see the truth. That's why they want to argue about the truth. Never do that. Really. It's like throwing your pearls before the shrine.
Swine.
The pig.
Or the shrine.
Amazing.
Stan 69.
Thank you.
And Misty and Games for Rec, shout out to you guys for being the top contributors over on D-Live. And thank you, guys. I do believe that is all for now.
Thank you all. Thank you, top contributors and everyone. I do appreciate it. Amazing. Let me go quickly back to the phone. Calandra out of Tennessee. Calandra, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Hey, Jesse.
Calandra, speak up for me right into the phone.
Yes, okay. Can you hear me good now?
I can hear you well.
Hey, how are you?
All is well. How you doing?
I'm all is well. I'm going to say that all is well.
What's wrong?
I just need some good sound advice. Like, the thought process is really good.
Calandra.
Yes.
Yes. Do not hang up. Your phone is not well. I want Sean, don't hang up. I'll let Sean get it. You and Sean work it out, and I'll come back to you as soon as he's done.
Okay.
Hold on. Let me go quickly back to Zachary, a first-time caller out of Tennessee. So, Zachary, what's your question?
Hey, man. Hi. So my question really is about basically people have seen they embody these things they hate. They embody these feelings they fear, these angry feelings they get the feeling of in the system. And
are you talking about yourself?
I'm talking about people like homosexuals. Their idea that they have sexuality, or nobody really has sexuality. There's men and women. There's no sexuality. That's like saying I believe in a genre instead of saying I believe in making music.
So Tony, Zachary, because of time, do you have a question?
Yeah. Do you think it's possible we are the ones who possess the ideas of hate, or the ideas of anger, the ideas of sexuality, jealousy?
When you say we, are you referring to yourself?
I've seen a way. Yeah, time to time, I think there's a whole system I'm not seeing, and I want to fight back on it, but because I can't see how yet, I end up fighting myself, or end up fighting,
Zachary, do you have a question? Yeah. Because you're not clear right now, buddy.
Well, it's about...
Hold on, Zachary. Let me let you talk to Sean again, and maybe he can get it right. Let me go to David. While Sean is working on Calandra's phone. She had to hang up. I guess it wasn't working well. Call me back, Calandra. Let me go to David out of California. David, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Good morning, Jesse. Thanks for taking my call.
Yes, sir.
Hey, I just wanted to talk to you. I heard your segment about Michael, and I have a Michael in my family. And, I see the devil in all my family. And, because of you, I was able to see it and see it for what it is and step aside and almost kind of just almost enjoy it. It's weird. But, I don't let it bring me down. I have a brother who is in jail right now for attacking both my parents and my sister, who lived in the same house. And
how did he attack them?
Well, he got so angry that, from what my parents say, that he was possessed. He had nothing in his eyes, no emotions. He grabbed a cast iron grate from the stove, hit both my parents on the head. My sister broke their arms. They tried to block the attack, and they all went to the hospital. And it's Satan, and I see it in my whole family. And it's I used to think it was bipolar or schizophrenic, but I see it now, and I see that my parents have Satan, the demons. I talked to them. I forgave my parents and had a talk with them, and they couldn't even talk about their parents. My dad started crying. My mom refused to talk about it. They refused to let it go, and it's followed them throughout their whole lives till the day they die. They're going to be angry, miserable people. It's terrible.
Amazing. And when you say it's almost funny to see it or joy somewhere, I forgot what word you used.
Yeah, I go over there and I try not to Bible thump because I don't like that, but I mention it. My mom says, I don't understand how this happened. Why did he do this? And I said, Mom, you have a 55-year-old living under your roof, and you're giving him allowance, and you're arguing with him.
So your brother was 55 and still living with his parents?
And never worked. They give him allowance. He doesn't have a job. They pay for his car, his insurance.
Really?
It's ridiculous. So he actually went to college and got a college education, which they paid for, and he throws it in their face, and they call him stupid. And my parents argue with him, and it's just two demons arguing. So, for me, I saw it. I saw it coming. I told them a month before it happened. I said, hey, this family is demonic. It's possessed. I can't bring my family over here. It's terrible. It's bad for everybody. A month later, they're in the hospital, broken bones, lacerations on their face. And,
amazing. But when you say it's almost funny or laughable to you, I forgot what word to you. What do you mean by that?
Well, it's like I don't get involved, and it's like I can see it from the outside, and I already knew this was going to happen. And my mom says, I don't know how this happened. Well, being that I already knew it was going to happen, it's kind of like, well, here we go, and it's not that I enjoy it. I don't enjoy anybody being in pain.
Yeah, I was going to say, never rejoice in seeing other people suffer. You really don't want to do that.
No, that's not it. It's what it is it's amazing to me that my eyes are open and I can see it. So I just can't believe that I can see the things that I see now and in a different light. See, before I started listening to you and understanding your message, I've been a Christian for 30 years, going to every type of church. A 60-year-old preacher with dyed black hair and skinny jeans, trying to act like a 20-year-old.
Nick, come and fix my computer. I lost my information. Okay, go ahead.
To intellectual preachers that speak in a way you can't even understand unless you have a PhD. To every type of church, But listening to you, I understand demons. I understand people. I see it right away. And it's not that I enjoy it. It's that I enjoy the fact that God is opening my eyes.
Yeah.
And I can see what's going on.
Right
and it's just amazing. It almost, it almost makes me smile and laugh. When I see something that I'm like, oh, I knew this was going to happen. And even in my own life, I have things that are, it's not like I don't think things go wrong. I think it's an opportunity for you to grow, something that gets in your way. And I'll have these things happen, and I'll just wait and see, like you say, and then it's like something is shown to me, something comes to me, and I know it's from God, and I knew all I had to do is be patient and wait.
Amazing.
And it is amazing.
I appreciate that, David. I got to run because of time, but amazing story, man.
I wanted to answer your biblical question.
What
You have a minute?
do you value in life?
Well, after seeing everything go on in my life, really the only thing I value is God, because it's all from God, and He gives you opportunities, and He puts things in front of you, and we don't know what we want, like you say, and what we need, and what we think we want, we don't really want. So really, it's just God and what God has in store for my life.
I appreciate that, man. I'll put my little comment in on Sunday.
Thanks for taking my call, Jesse.
All right. Amazing. Thank you, David. Appreciate it. Call me again.
Bye.
Bye. 888-775-3373. Let me go quick to Russ from New Jersey. Russ, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Hi, Jesse. How you doing today?
All is well, Russ.
I wanted to answer your question.
What do you value in life?
I value the light and the dark and my 5 senses.
You value the light and the dark and your 5 senses?
Yes.
Amazing. Interesting. I appreciate that, Russ. I'll put my 2 cents in on Sunday, all right?
Thank you.
All right, buddy.
Bye-bye.
Bye now. Amazing. Jaime out of
How's it going?
Minnesota. Jaime, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Hey, thanks. Good to talk to you.
You too, buddy.
Hey, I was thumping on the Bible, and I wanted to get your opinion. In the end of Matthew, the book, the Gospel according to Matthew, it says that Judas throws the 30 silver coins to the priests. You know, he says, "Hey, this is I can't." You know, he throws it back after he. What did he do?
I'm sorry.
Jesus.
Go ahead now.
After he betrays Jesus.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
But in the beginning of Acts, the Acts of the Apostles, it says that Judas used those 30 silver shekels to buy a field. And I was wondering what you thought of that, these two accounts of this one story.
Well, I don't know about the field thing, but I do know that when Satan encouraged him to go against what was right, go against Christ, and then once he did that, Satan caused him to feel guilty. And then that guilt and fear is when he threw the money away because he realized he had been set up. And that's what's happened with that situation. But I'm not familiar with the field.
Yeah, and that's in Matthew. That's the account in Matthew.
Oh, okay.
And I've been looking at the Bible and whatnot, and I don't know about the Acts of the Apostles, that book, you know.
Right.
You know, and
well, when you read
it's
the
no
Bible,
big deal.
I would highly encourage you to read the New Testament and the Old too, but the New Testament. But do not read to remember. Just read it, put it down. And don't try to read the whole book at one time and all that. But just read it, put it away, and watch how the devil going to try to interpret the Bible for you in your imagination. Don't fall for it.
Yeah, I just read it to conversate now. You know?
Right.
And what do you think about the infallibility of the Bible and the inerrantness of it?
What does infallibility, inerrant mean?
Well, they say the biblical infallibility says that there's no teaching in the Bible that is wrong.
And it's in the Bible. It says infallibility.
It doesn't. That's what I was saying. But you know, you got priests out here saying that.
But what does that mean, infallible?
I believe what it means when I hear it. It's that there's nothing wrong in it. It doesn't contradict. It doesn't go.
But there are some there are some things in the Bible that's not true.
Right.
And what was the other word?
Inerrant. Inerrant.
And what does that mean?
Well, I assume that it means there's no errors. Probably like dates and times.
You assume?
When I hear it, yeah. Maybe I'm wrong.
It sounds like some words that somebody made up. That's not in the Bible.
That's what I thought, too.
Yeah, so it just sounds like words that the Christians made up, or somebody did. I don't know who did that.
Yeah.
Especially since the Bible be rewritten and translated so many times. But, I mean, I got to run because I'm out of time. Okay. Thank you, man.
Yeah. Hey, I think I'm going to get myself a Trump Bible, too.
Right on. The best Bible on this side of heaven. Thank you. Amazing.
All right, bye.
Bye, buddy. I am out of time. Hake is coming up now. TheHakeReport.com. And after the Hake Report, Joel Friday TV, he black. And then the American Anchor Baby, Energy, a Genius. Right after Joel Friday TV. Thank you for your support. Don't forget to go and donate to rebuildingtheman.com or call 800-411-BOND, all right? And get on the straight and narrow, folks. Leave everybody else behind. Don't try to bring them with you. This is a journey that you must travel alone. You can't take anyone with you. This is one time, I know all you people who are afraid to stand alone. You need a crowd. This is one time you have no choice. Either you stand alone or you stay with the crowd and suffer and die. I'm out of time. Forgive. I'll be back tomorrow if the Lord is willing and the creek don't rise. Open line Friday tomorrow, all right? Take care, folks. I do appreciate it. Take care. Baba Thumper.
So you get something went wrong, but face the truth about yourself and just seek first God's kingdom, cause you must know that so you get something went wrong, but face the truth about yourself and just seek first God's kingdom, cause I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way.
So, here's what I recommend. I invite you to download my silent prayer, and I want you to start doing it. You just download it, get the points of how to do it, and then after a while, you just do it on your own. It's going to point you in the right direction that your life will be returned to you from God. He will give you your life back, because anyone and all people who has anger, they're not themselves. You are the person that you are angry at. That's why it's so important to get to know yourself so that you can see who you're angry at. And if you're doing the hooping and hollering prayers and things like that, some people get up, oh, praise the Lord, hoop and holler, bless my mama, bless my daddy. Continue to do it. Do both. You will see if you want to stay with the hooping and hollering or do you want to be still and know God. So my gift to you, no charge, at rebuildingtheman.com/church.
Like my cousin sent me you, and I thank him for that. It was more of a, he thinks the whole everything's a joke. That just adds a little spice to it. But in the heart of what you're saying, there is real things going on. And people want to overlook that. And I'm telling you, Mr. Peterson, I'm not one of those people. And I thank God that, he showed you to me. And sometimes we just need some Jesse in our lives, I guess.
I wish we had more brothers like you. We need more brothers like you. Just because we don't have most guys that can, lead black people into the right direction. And I thank you for that, because a lot of people will be like, man, it's still going on. It's racism. Yeah. And I try to tell them, watch his show. Listen to this brother. He's telling the truth.
Take no thought about tomorrow. Yesterday doesn't exist. And you're going to see, man, God is with us and all is well.